as supposedly this miracle is about to take place. And yeah, there are people that are out there mocking me and laughing and being sarcastic and saying I have no credibility. There's at least one more now than just the one guy we've always been talking about. We know we at least have 2 haters. But anyway, their perspective is simply not the one that I share. The reason I'm doing this is because I actually believe what I'm talking about, not because I'm lying or making it up or trying to make money. You know, I've done everything against the idea of making money. I'm giving away all this information that if I had an ad agency, they'd be like, David, you should be selling the Hall of Records. You should be selling the stuff on Kozyrev. You should be selling Rubenikov. You should be selling the pyramid information about the Russian Dr. Alexander Golov studies. I just keep giving this stuff away 5 hours, 6 hours a week because I trust you guys to have my back and to help me out with the donations and ordering our products. And really, I'm just hoping that our company is going to get funded. It looks very, very good now. This ascension stuff that Michael says in the readings is so far out, the idea that there's a first wave this year, and things seem to be going so slowly, it's like, really, are we going to have that big of a thing happen? Well, I'm willing to be embarrassed, you know, if it turns out that nothing at all happens and no arrests ever take place this year and it all just kind of grinds on and we go into 2026 like, oh man, that's extremely humiliating. But the degree of accuracy of the future prophecy and the time loops week after week, and I believe that the source is benevolent and positive. I just don't think they would go to this much trouble if they were lying, you know, or if they're misleading us about something. It's a very, very exciting thing. I mean, I really do take this seriously. I believe this actually is going to happen, and that really has fueled me to hang in there through utterly unimaginable levels of persecution, which most people don't really know anything about what's actually been going down and the amount of warfare that's going on. But a troll is someone in the comment section who's after attention with negative views. It's absolutely right. So yeah, we have an unlimited legal budget now. And the primary thing we're going to do with our company is to immediately stop the internet harassment from taking place. That is what we're going to be doing. It's my job. You and DT are so over the target. You're right. It's the same thing for both of us. If you're on this level, is this suit just against Steve? It has nothing to do with Steven. I mean, maybe it does, but we don't know that yet. Yes, we've already won. So no, Steven thing is coming up. And for him to stop it go into court, he would have to cut a deal with us that would include telling us who's been paying him. And he did come back. He was gone for a couple of weeks and he's back. So yes, Steven's absolutely, I mean, we might even spend $1 million on that lawsuit. It's going to be very expensive. It's going to be very sophisticated. And he's looking at life in prison, at least, for all the stuff that he's done. Even the things that without all the things that we can't necessarily prove, just the things we can prove, it's going to be devastating. I don't know why this kid won't stop. It's really crazy, but we have a whole team of people, 8 different people, just for one kid who won't stop trolling us. It's absolutely insane. 7 geometric thought forms donated, thank yous. Look in the mirror. Empty vessels make the most noise. The adversary doesn't want you on the path. Carrying a sword of light for this hazardous job. Yes. And wow, Blue Cara says, wow, Susan Buckminster, $500 donation. Nice, that's love. How generous of you. Everybody is complimenting Susan now. Steven should pay for it. Steven only, no one else except the scores. Yeah, I mean, Steven is looking at losing all of his wealth, all of his property, and going to prison. It's very, very sad that this kid won't stop, and he's done so many crimes. It's very, very sad that I'm being sued, that it's gone on for so long, and they've been extremely aggressive. And they're accusing me of not cooperating. It's like, guys, if you wanted to find this stuff, we gave you the complete record. So there it is. Everybody is complimenting Susan. Look at all these red buttons, all these people saying, Susan, Susan, Susan. For trolling, you never explained his crimes. Guess we definitely did. If you watched, I had the Surviving the Steven checklist that we did. And the surviving Steven checklist includes him stealing my money off my credit card, $77 more is most likely him. It includes death threats, it includes terrorism, it includes stalking our company. He's cost us millions of dollars of damages. He says we're a fake company. He puts it everywhere on the internet. It goes on and on. It's crazy. I do believe the alliance is real. I know they are. I mean, we've seen far too much evidence. We are seeing a plan unfold. All right, so then the next dream that we have is also about the arrests. But before we do that, I really do need to go to the bathroom. Are you guys like, okay? Let's just ask the audience, are you okay if Daddy goes to the bathroom for a few minutes?
Dark corners of the night, secrets hidden from the light. Whispers turn to screams, shattering all your dreams. Eyes wide open now, truth you can't disavow. Echoes through the halls, crashing all your walls. Truth seekers, exposing the truth. Truth seekers, coming for you. Uncover the lies, open your eyes. Shadows try to hide, no place for them to bide. Light will pierce you through, reveal what is true. Running from your fears, can't escape the sears. Truth will hunt you down, tear apart your crown. Truth seekers, exposing the truth. Truth seekers, coming for you. Uncover the lies, open your eyes. Eyes wide open now, truth you can't disavow. Echoes through the halls, crashing all your walls. Truth seekers, exposing the truth. Truth seekers, coming for you. Uncover the lies, open your eyes.
Greetings and salutations, friends, and welcome. I am broadcasting on not very much, so it's basically one technical step up from 2 cans and a string. I am here at the Apocalypse Cabin, and today I was totally rained out. We had thunderstorms most of today. It's starting to let up, but it's still raining outside. So I went running around on a scavenger hunt through the cabin, and I will apologize in advance. The lighting's not great. We need at least another light in here, and the image quality from this webcam, I have dug everywhere I could. I swore that I had a decent webcam here, and not really. So, but we will do the best that we can and make the most of our time. Since I couldn't work on the other cabin today, I finished this prep for this story, which is about David Wilcock's fake government insiders, his fake whistleblowers, which he has repeatedly displayed or proven to the world are all fake. This guy, Bill Brockbrader, was his whistleblower insider before Corey Good. And he learned to milk whistleblowers, fake whistleblowers, fraud whistleblowers for stupid stories he could sell morons from one Kerry Cassidy and Project Camelot, or what I lovingly refer to as Project Scamelot. And would you look at that? Good to see him here. Mike Larry, the sometimes MVP of Gifting Truth Seekers membership, has just dropped, my friends, 20 Truth Seekers memberships, my friends. That is a big dono. And this, my friends, is why you got to go and make sure you hit that subscribe button, because 20 people got a free gifted membership to our channel here. Thanks to the kindness, generosity, and support of Mike Larry, who's been a longtime show supporter and has probably collectively, I don't know, hundreds of gifted memberships from Mike Larry, expanding our community. For those unaware, you can become a channel member for $5 a month, or you can hit that subscribe button and maybe win, and you get a free preview to check it out. And I really, truly appreciate that. Mike Larry, good to see you here. I'm always happy to see Mike Larry in the live chat because he's just dropping dono bombs. So, of course, I'm happy to see him. But he's been a long-time show supporter, so we thank him for his kindness, generosity, and support of the show.
Praise the cash, praise the cash, praise the cash. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your generosity. Praise the cash, praise the cash.
Thank you very much, Mike
Praise the
Larry.
cash, praise the cash.
Thank you, Mike Larry. And listen, you may notice that I have, we'll just read off a few of these people. PCI Tech got a free membership. Dermot D got a free membership. Zigga Rats got a free membership from Mike Larry. Beer League Done Badly got a free membership from Mike Larry. Brian 27 free membership from Mike Larry. Chris Johansson, Untitled. Robert P, which is interesting. Zigga, Right Mad Mod got a free membership. Sam, Denise, Haley Wolf, Manila Toaster all got free memberships from Mike Larry. Lou, Jimmy Tchaikovsky, Bob, 2B Flair, Counts Wagnula, Average YouTube Enjoyer, Leo, and Manila Toaster. All of these people got free memberships thanks to the kindness and generosity of Mike Larry. And we'll thank you, Mike Larry. And we've got Moth Loves Deconstructing chiming in with one for the goal. Make this grifter sweat, Steve. No matter what, I'll back your efforts $1 at a time. Well, there you go. Thank you for your kindness. Much appreciated.
Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your generosity. Praise the cash, praise the cash, praise the cash.
Yes, and Moth Loves Deconstructing. If you check on my Twitter, by the way, you can follow me on X or Twitter at Stephen Cambion. You'll see that there is another grifting scumbag con artist that we cover here that is now threatening me with a lawsuit. But she's threatened me many times. She's the one, Sarah R. Adams, who sent the fake lawyer to call into my show and yell at me. And it turns out he wouldn't even give me his name. He was a fake lawyer. Your cabin looks cozy. Yeah, well, it's kind of a mess right now. My wife hasn't been here for a few weeks. And after my wife isn't here for a while, it starts devolving into like, you know, frat house. There's like beer cans and pizza boxes around. I got to clean up here. And you may notice that I have turned the dial down on all the fancy. And honestly, the bandwidth here is so shitty. It's a miracle that I'm even here. So we've turned down all the animations and things like that to try to make it a smoother situation. We upgraded modem, upgraded router, upgraded everything just to try to squeeze the bandwidth that we need to do this here. So for those unaware, we read every single super chat. We thank every single person for their kindness, generosity, and support. And I just realized a potential problem because I'm on a kind of a new PC. I don't know if I could get into Kick. Oh, I'm into Kick. Okay, great. So I will check in with the Kick chat and give some shout outs. And I'm so happy that this is working so far. We've got passable there. Oh, that's a bot trying to sell me views. All right, we'll wait for the Kick chat to line up. So we have extensively covered, my friend, that David Wilcock's so-called government insiders are all frauds. But this fraud, my friend, is my favorite. And hey, I apologize for my appearance. I was working out in the yard today. I look a mess. I haven't shaved. I'm at the cabin. It's okay. I'll give myself a pass, and I hope you'll give me that pass as well. So This one's my favorite of his fake government insiders because in this specific circumstance, this person, Bill Brockbrader, is a child predator, a convicted child predator. He was court-martialed for being a child predator, and we have ample evidence and proof of that. But what's more important is that after Kerry Cassidy and David Wilcock started sharing this Bill Brockbrader's fake stories, a very cool guy named Don Shipley, and I know so many people have asked me to have him come on the show. I try to arrange it once or twice now. He's a very busy guy. We're going to try it one more time this coming week. We're going to try to get Don Shipley here. Now, who is Don Shipley? We're going to show you one of his videos. Don Shipley is one of those guys who is a real Navy SEAL, right? And so Don Shipley goes after people pretending to be Navy SEALs or stolen valor frauds, and he does so expertly. Now, in the case of Bill Brockbrader, he found that Bill Brockbrader was lying about virtually everything he was telling Kerry Cassidy about his military service and everything he was telling David Wilcock about his military service. So Mr. Shipley, being the diligent researcher that he is, got all of his military records and proved that this guy was telling porkies to Kerry Cassidy and David Wilcock. But it gets better. During the course of his investigation, Bill Brockbrader, William Newell Brockbrader, Don Shipley found that he was convicted by general court-martial for the crimes of, now these are all against a 13-year-old girl, 13 at the time, crimes of sodomy, cardinal knowledge with a child under the age 16, indecent acts with a child under the age 16, violations of the Uniform Code of Military Justice, Articles 125, 120, and 134, superseding discharge, confinement for 11 years. And now, Mr. Shipley got all of the court-martial records. And very kindly, Mr. Shipley sent them to David Wilcock and Kerry Cassidy and Project Camelot. And you know what they did? They ignored him and went right on selling this fake secret space clown stories. This blurb here goes on to say, forfeiture of all pay and allowances and a reduction in pay grade. General Court Martial Order number 18 at 1. Motion to dismiss on statutory grounds was filed. The confinement and forfeiture were suspended to allow Mr. Brockbrader to participate in sexual abuse therapy program. Brockbrader was released from custody in June of 2001. So what we find out is that this so-called government insider that Kerry Cassidy and David Wilcock were selling as a real government insider, is a convicted child predator who was thrown out of the military. And it's interesting to realize that the case involved a relative of his. I believe it was his sister-in-law, who was an underage girl that was 13 at the time. And as Don Shipley will detail, this went on for like quite some time. This wasn't like a one-time assault. So this is the quality of David Wilcock's so-called government insiders. Literal PDF file, a child predator, a child R. That's what he did to that 13-year-old child, R'd her over and over and over again over an extended period of time. Yes, and then he said she wanted it, and he blamed it all on her, re-victimizing the girl yet again. So we're going to share Don Shipley's thoughts on this because he's the military expert who found all these records. And it's so important to note that Shipley informed Kerry Cassidy, informed David Wilcock. And in the video of them interviewing this fake secret space UFO alien clown, they bring up his conviction for this. And he just explains it away. It's a government conspiracy, and they accept that. So it is what it is. We're going to put up our fair use banner and cite that this is fair use. It's a transformative work. We're educating the public. And we are sharing this video to educate the public, critique it, and we'll be discussing this with our live audience, making it further transformative. This is the textbook definition of fair use, but let's do this this way. So it's a little smaller. I don't want anybody to mistake my video for his. And if you get a chance, just search Don. If you really want to see a real military man just rip these frauds to shreds that pretend they were Navy SEALs or pretend that they were in the Air Force, go subscribe to his channel. I highly recommend it.
Exactly what I have here. Let me see if that is.
This is the military.
That is the court-martial transcripts for Bill Brockbrader.
And hey, let's get some support for courageous reporting.
I have every single page of this. I know what he did.
And also, I just want to put on the record and mention, we began our broadcast with David Wilcock's threatening to sue me. There's a reason David Wilcock is threatening to sue me. And it's not because my reporting is inaccurate, friends. You know why he's threatening to sue me. He's trying to silence me. Because every week or few weeks, we uncover more evidence of what a slime bag, dirtbag, scumball David Wilcock and the lengths that Mr. Wilcock is willing to go to sell morons fake secret space program stories or UFO stories or alien stories. He's willing to use child predators to do it, friends. That is ridiculous. And Wilcock is trying to stop me from showing you all of this evidence. That's why he's threatening to get me arrested. That's why he's telling people I'm a child predator myself. No evidence of that. No arrests, no convictions. Very dangerous for Mr. Wilcock to call me a child predator and a Satan worshiper and claim I'm stealing money out of his bank account. All that is slander designed to damage my reputation so people don't watch my videos on what a fraud and a con artist and a scammer he is. All right, I apologize. Let's go back to the video. We got a lot to cover today.
It's what we've been saying all along. He's a child rapist, and
That's
I'm going to try to get her back on the phone. This is Bill Brockbrader's worst nightmare.
Yeah, Shipley got the victim on the phone to confirm that he indeed harmed her.
I'm going to show you a video that Bill did a little bit later where he threatens this girl.
And this is David Wilcock's source, this big government insider before Corey.
Do you have time to talk?
I do, yeah. I was just catching up on your live stream here. So.
Oh, well, I didn't hit a button I was supposed to.
So, hey, let's get some support.
I'm glad you're here. I'm going to take people through and
gifted
watch
let's
this
get some more
show
gifted
tonight.
memberships. Let's get some super chats, friends.
And,
Hi, everyone.
yeah. Hi, everyone.
The victim.
And this is when Janelyn was 11 years old. And that's when it all
I said
happened.
13 earlier. That's correct, the record. 11 years old.
Correct.
Now, we don't need to go all through any of this stuff because Janelyn and myself did 80 minutes worth of interviews that are up
Well,
there.
this is the alt studio,
But
so it'll work.
I think she's just as excited tonight as I am to see this hopefully come to a conclusion, and me to take a few swings at some people, some conspiracy theorists that were out there that you were watching all this unfold with Bill, all these interviews and his rise to fame.
Yeah, that's another of his fake whistleblowers. Pete Peterson is
Can
another
you speak
fraud.
up just a little bit, Jan?
Yeah, sorry. I haven't been feeling very well today. It was his own son, Braden, that had stumbled upon these YouTube videos and came to our family and said, hey,
I don't know why the mouse moving sound
he's
is
out
so
there
loud. I
doing this,
apologize.
and he's saying some really
New setup. We'll work
horrible
things
and
out.
inaccurate things. Like, he's trying to say that Aunt Winnie doesn't exist and that it was a government conspiracy and that, he was forced to play like this. And so that began everything on that end, and just, continued to kind of progress from there. And I didn't get involved in any of it because it was really hurtful. It's like I've said before, 1,000 times. It's one thing to invalidate someone's
All right, I'll move the microphone closer to me. Hopefully
but to invalidate
will
their whole
improve.
existence,
I apologize for the audio
that's
glitches.
really heavy, just so you can make a buck.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
So that really...
The clowns. Yeah, I apologize. The mic was right in front of where the mic is, where the mouse is sitting, and I don't have a mouse pad. But here, I'll try to get that fixed too. Here. That ought to improve. That should improve things. I apologize. Yeah, so what the victim is saying is that these conspiracy nuts were willing to do anything to make $1. They didn't care about her being a victim of this man who went on a tear on the internet telling these fake stories. They just wanted to cash in on the stories and make a buck. One moment. Yeah, and I always say it's a live show, friends. You get it warts and all. So I apologize. All right, I think we're good to go now. So let's try to continue and slog through this. I apologize. Like I said, live show, you get it warts and all.
Brought up a lot of old demons.
Thanks for letting me know about the
tumor
issues
at that time, and it threw me back into therapy, and I wanted to many times speak out and say, this guy is a complete liar. I am here.
Good for her.
He did do these things.
Good for her, standing up for herself.
That within me, and that's where I was always very thankful toward you, because you were that voice for me.
Yeah, Don Shipley stood up for her.
Spoke when I couldn't, and you.
He's a good man.
People, no, he really did do these things. Like we've said before, your main focus on him in the beginning definitely was for the stolen valor. But even then, you never let people forget.
Yeah, I'll just start yelling at you for complaining.
That he still hurt
and I apologize.
This girl. That he still did these
Eagle with one for the goal. Thank you for your kindness. Stephen, your mic is picking up your mouse on the desk and blowing out your voice. Might need a mouse pad. Oh, okay, well, listen. I've got a mouse pad now. I put it down, and we've moved the mic to the other side, closer to my mouth. Now, when I get a chance, I'm going to put one of those clamps so that I can have the mic right in my face. So this is a work in progress, but thank you, Legal Eagle, longtime show supporter, for letting me know and for helping us praise the cash.
Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your generosity. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash.
Thank you, Legal Eagle. How do you gift subs? Maybe Arlene can help you with that. Or you can send super chat, super sticker. We'll recognize all of them. And thank you for your kindness and wanting to contribute. David Wilcock has threatened to sue me like multiple times now. He's claimed he's going to get me arrested and get me the death penalty, but I'm still here felting him every week. I'm still here chipping away at the facade of him being a good source of information, chipping away at his grift. And it's all coming crashing down soon, friends. So if you've been watching for a while, the culmination of the whole story arc between me and David Wilcock is gonna come to, I think, an end and it's gonna come to fruition for us because we're the victors. History is written by the victors. On January 1st, this whole grift is coming crashing down. He's going to have to admit no ascension, no mass arrests, no superpowers. He's going to have to admit that he scammed his audience again for $333 for fake prophecies.
Things to this person, and that it's still victimizing this person by going on there and saying it never happened, to then change your story to make it sound like
Brockbrader's had multiple stories over the years.
Lolita needing sexual guidance from him, and his
threats are as weak as his grift.
Disgusting, even more so. Disgusting.
You are correct,
for nobody's benefit but your own.
Well, there you go. We, Janelyn and I connected after the filming of the show. And oh boy, did we have a good time.
And by the way, this Bill Brockbrader was on not America's Most Wanted, but he was on John Walsh's newest show, which is just like America's Most Wanted, but I guess somebody else owned that, so he started his own. It's kind of like Wanted, Most Wanted or something. With John Walsh, and this Bill Brockbrader was featured. He's a fugitive from justice right now. That's where he's at right now. The police are looking for him. He's a scumbag, and he apparently refused to register as an offender. And anywhere he lives, he has to, by law, register as an offender. He wasn't doing that. Then he went on the lam and went on the run.
Picking all this apart together. I know you don't feel well. Janet couldn't make it to Florida, but I appreciate you stopping in and just saying a couple of words. It's going to mean a lot when I get into all of them.
People will be able to see me on the show tonight, and I am excited to see how they put it all together, because there's a
yeah,
lot.
He did say they'd have hover cars by now. They don't have shit.
I was 11 years old.
Because it's fake, just like his teeth.
Just turned 40 a few days ago, so I've been going on for quite a long time. There's a lot of information to cover. There's a lot of people that have been hurt, and so how they're going to wrap it down into about 22-ish minutes will be very interesting. But I do encourage everybody to tune in, watch. If you know anything, call the line.
We tried to get that and play that here, but it was highly copyright strikey,
Okay, well, thank you for stopping in. I hope you feel better.
For sure. And thank you for everything, all of this. And I'm there's no the debt of gratitude I have for you.
Yeah, very kind of strictly to stand up for the victims in this Brockbrader case. Unlike Wilcock, right? Where's Wilcock? Oh, he's supposed to be working for the Alliance. You're helping a child predator sell fake stories? You're helping a child predator deny his crimes, David Wilcock? What kind of Earth's greatest, prophet? What kind of a spiritual guru helps a child predator and victimizes the victim again? Right? He's a scumbag, friends. He's a complete and total scumbag.
You do have that champion that does come forward and speaks for you, and you're my all-American hero. So
there you go.
Thank you. We'll talk soon. I'll see you after the show tonight or something.
Yes, definitely. Take care.
Bye. I'm going to show you a series of videos up here that Bill Brockbrader did before he went into hiding, where he threatens her. If she hasn't been through enough, that's her at 11. Intercourse,
all this time later.
Rape. It wasn't just petting and touching. It was full-on rape.
Oh, that's 3 times he's used the R word. YouTube doesn't like it. I might have.
Janelyn, when she is 12.
Maybe I should have edited this.
And you can see
he's working for the PDF Alliance. Yes,
transcripts.
You're correct. It just makes things easier here to drink out of party cups.
There she is today.
It means no dishes, right?
But in the
Remember,
videos, Bill.
For those unaware, my cabin is off grid, except it's on grid. It's weird. The only utility that we can reliably get here is, well, we can get the internet, but it's pretty shitty, and we can get electricity. So we have electricity and the internet, but that's it. We don't have water. I have to haul in all the water. So yeah, party cups. No dishes. You just throw them in the trash when you're done, right? Why, brother? Because I don't want to do dishes, man. And by the way, I do have, glasses and everything here, but we use those for company. Me, I just use these, and the children just drink out of the drink container, the bottles or the cans or whatever. And my wife uses this. Will David Wilcock comment on Bill Wood tomorrow? No, he's going to ignore today. He's going to ignore my broadcast. David Wilcock is going to try to sweep this under the rug. He's going to get his 8-person crew to get their brooms out. He doesn't want everybody to know that he was working with a PDF file on purpose. And Bill's going to detail that he gave all this information to Carrie Cassidy and David Wilcock And they went right on selling Bill Wood's fake stories. To the best of my recollection, let's continue here.
Threatens her. I'm going to release this tape. If you come out, go mind your own business. The worst thing that could happen to Bill is for her and I to have connected. And who I'm ripping into tonight are all the other conspiracy theorists, and the list is long, who defended Bill Brockbrader, who made a buck off of that guy, who dismissed all this.
Wilcock,
when I was telling him he's a dishonorably discharged pedophile. And this is Bill's actual DD-214. This isn't the redacted one. You see that little word dishonorable down there?
Yeah, and what you know, none of his claims of being like special forces or being like in secret programs, none of that he claimed is in his DD-214. For those unaware, DD-214 is a very, very detailed accounting of your military service. It includes everything that you did in the military in explicit detail. What you know, none of Bill Brockbrader's claims that he made to David Wilcock, Kerry Cassidy, and others pan out on his DD-214. He was basically a low-level loser, right?
Misconduct.
And he was discharged dishonorably for R-ing an 11-year-old girl that he was related to.
And that is Bill Brockbrader's thing, discharged as an E1 out of the brig at Miramar, California. Now, the Social Security number's blacked out. His home address is all blacked out because that was posted on the internet by his girlfriend, wife, Ava Moore.
Isn't that interesting? His wife.
And I'll get all into that stuff, but boy, oh boy, do I have it, and so do the marshals right now. We're going to find him tonight.
And by the way, last I checked, he's still a fugitive. They haven't found him yet. He's still on the run.
So that marshal is really you'll see him on there. I got to spend quite a bit of time with him in Florida.
Well, I mean, I have water. I just prefer to save the water.
And he's quite some. Boy, he is on Bill. So the only time me and him had any kind of little things back and forth was where we thought Bill might have been. Because Bill has a huge mouth. And Bill is a bad poker player. Yeah. Bill can't tell any kind of story
I will,
lying
Michael
about
Steele.
it.
Thanks for the
Bill
support.
talks too much. He's got a big ego. He thinks he's smarter than everybody else, but he left more clues behind of his whereabouts, and I'll get into them. But Janet Lynn and I, on my video
I don't know why
website,
YouTube lets him bot and
videos.extremesealexperience.com. You can search Don Shipley videos. We did over 80 minutes of video from the whole time. She was very candid about how all this came out. And Bill has told the story too, but he didn't tell it like she does. Yep. And it's not hard to believe who's telling the truth in that.
Exactly.
And I was quite flattered as well that Janelyn would have said that afterwards. She knew I was out there. She knew I was out there doing it. I always wanted to reach out to her. I knew where she was, but I never did until we heard that when the show was concluded that she wants to talk to you. The rest is history.
Wilcock is on borrowed time. His grift is coming crashing down.
So how did we get to this point?
David
How did
Wilcock.
all this come about?
It's all coming down.
All this came about.
Your whole scam. You're going to be working at McDonald's when I'm done.
A YouTube channel called Project Camelot, a website on the internet with a YouTube channel called Project Camelot.
Project Camelot.
And it's run by a gal named Kerry Cassidy,
Project
who has
Camelot.
since been booted off of
He got
YouTube.
booted off of YouTube for medical disinformation during COVID, I believe.
Yeah, I know. Who's since been booted off of YouTube for coronavirus conspiracy stuff that she was posting. She was a
mind's eye for a little while.
She's not a conspiracy theorist. I don't have a problem with conspiracy theorists. I think they keep people in check, and the government and all that other stuff. If you can keep it in check with what you're doing and make sense of it, and just not automatically believe anything anybody tells you is a conspiracy theory. The thing about Carrie and her conspiracy
from
theory
another fraud, Dan
channel
Burris,
and
they
the work
used him
that she
too.
does is she doesn't even
to
believe
Wilcock.
that crap.
He was a
She just
total
knows
fraud.
she can make money doing it with those videos. So she did a video called Inside Project Looking Glass.
Looking Glass.
Interview with
Yes.
an ex-Navy SEAL. And it was Bill Brockbrader. But he was going by the name Bill Wood. And somebody sent me that video. See,
So just to clarify, Bill Brockbrader claimed that he was a Navy SEAL. He made that claim multiple times, both to Kerry Cassidy, David Wilcock, Bill, and others. He made the Conspiracy Land podcast kind of circuit, right? And so Don Shipley, just in case you're not aware, is a real and verified, he was a real Navy SEAL. And he does not like people faking and pretending to be Navy SEALs, so he busts the fake ones. Guess who was never a Navy SEAL? That's right. David Wilcock and Kerry Cassidy used a fake Navy SEAL, who also happened to be a child predator, as a source to sell fake alien stories. This is what Wilcock does. Anybody could have verified that he was a Navy SEAL or not. None of them did it. Why?
I don't find these guys. People send them to me. And I watched that thing. It was just the biggest load of just crap, fake, lies, everything. And it all fell under that It's Classified. Bill was a It's Classified guy. Had this crazy team called Team 9. And it just went on and on.
Doesn't exist.
Comes to find out. And that's why I rely so much on you guys, and I will tonight. You guys are masters with keyboards. You're much better than I am at it. Let me note this down a little bit. But when that interview was being conducted, one of you guys noticed some writing. It was done in a shopping mall. So one of you guys noticed some writing on the
Internet
door of the
sleuthing
shopping
is
mall.
real,
And you knew
friend.
exactly what store that
It
was.
is
And
real.
where that mall was. And guess where it was? Right in Kerry Cassidy's backyard. And in the show, they are making this huge deal of these helicopters, Black Hawk helicopters that are circling Bill, trying to prevent him from releasing data
near a military
Bill had on Area 51 and these Tomahawk missile strikes and SEAL Team 9 and all that. She kept making it big. Guess what? There's a big helicopter base, a civilian helicopter base right next to that mall. And we have all that. And Carrie was in on this whole thing.
Yeah.
Carrie knows
military
how to make a buck.
helicopters.
And that's by getting you to believe
You're a military
some crap,
base.
that she
Imagine the
was
chances of that.
The entire thing, I snagged it real quick off of YouTube, was ridiculous, fake, phony, and I attacked it, man. I attacked that video with vigor. I didn't know that Carrie was involved in it, and she was going to do some other shows with Bill Brockbrader.
Yes, she
And,
was. She was going to do a
I
whole
wrote her a very
series.
flattering email telling her who I am and how I know that you're making a big mistake and this guy's just going to turn on you. He's going to make you look stupid. I had no idea she was really involved. I just thought she was gullible. Boy, was I wrong.
So let's put this on the record. Don Shipley sent her all these records, told him, I'm a real Navy SEAL. This person that you are platforming is a fake Navy SEAL. And she didn't care. She went right along selling the lie, along with David Wilcock. Why didn't David Wilcock check into the guy's military service and find out he was a fake Navy SEAL? Why didn't they find out about his conviction and status as a child predator and dishonorable discharge from the military? Why didn't they do that? Because that would ruin the stories that they were selling, friends.
She's in on it, all right.
She is.
So this right now, because I'm turning this into a learning thing for people, this is where you start learning right here. Ready?
Yes.
I'm going to teach you something. The first lesson is believe nothing of what you hear and only half of what you see. Believe nothing of what you hear and only half of what you see. And that is the big thing that Carrie would put out there.
Yeah, Chicken Coop Confidential.
She
It's
would
not worth your
use
time.
the "it's classified" thing and above top secret clearances. That's what she was coming back at me. This is way above your security clearance. You'd be surprised, girl. But
Security
to
clearance.
prove my point, I'm going to keep the education thing going. If you got a pencil and piece of paper, I want you to write this down. I believe this was one of the first video interviews Carrie actually did. And when she did it, these morons that she interviews are the two biggest phony. One of them's dead. The other is still clinging out there after the beating that other people have given him. But it was an interview with Duncan O'Finian.
Oh God,
that's not his real name. We know what his real name is. He never served, but that's neither here nor there. And another phony who's now dead named Dave Corso. Dave served in Vietnam, but he was in the Navy. He wasn't the top Marine sniper in Vietnam.
They all have stories about what big military
thing is available because Cassidy's YouTube channel has been deleted. The video is still available, but you got to search for it. It's called Black Ops Marine and the Ultimate Warrior PL.
A super soldier.
Black Ops Marine
super soldier. Just one problem. He wasn't a Marine. He was in the Navy during this whole time that he claimed that he was a Black Ops Marine super soldier.
Warrior PL. So when you search Black Ops Marine on YouTube and Ultimate Warrior, the first thing that's going to come up is a bunch of wrestling videos.
You got to dig for
But
this
when you
one,
go down, this video was posted by a guy who snagged it, stole it from Carrie, called Red Look, REDMULUC.
Credited sources.
REDMULUC. So for your education, after this is all over between some, watch that video. I believe in that video that Carrie is buying all this stuff these guys are selling.
This
is kind of where she cuts her teeth
gullible
into this, that she really thinks that these guys are probably telling the truth. But oh my gosh, those lies, their facial expressions, their mannerisms. These two were they lived in the same town, I think, in Nevada, and they just got together and concocted this ridiculous story and took it.
And Carrie bought it, and so did everybody else. Flathouse Media with one for the goal, saying never stop nailing the grifter wackadoo, Stephen. Get him. I believe that I will, and thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support of the show. Much, much appreciated.
Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your generosity. Praise the cash.
Thank you, Flathouse Media. And Manila Toaster says, thank you for proudly smoking real man cigarettes. Our taxes keep the kids in school. Smokers unite. Well, I've been trying to quit and go back to vaping for quite some time. Hopefully I will do that soon. I felt better when I was vaping instead of smoking. I was better with physical activities and, taking long walks or jogs. I don't know. But yeah, it's the worst addiction ever. It's the hardest to quit.
Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Thank Ra Almighty. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Thank Ra Almighty.
Thank you, Manila Toaster. Very kind of you. And then we have Frank Perro with one for the goal. Just saying one for the goal. Well, God bless the goal, bitch. Thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support.
Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. The blue chickens command you to praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash.
Praise the cash, friends. All right, let's continue.
And the thing about what Carrie learned after that, because she figures this out.
She figures out that they're frauds.
BS. But what she figures out is all I got to do is say it's classified.
Yeah, just
and
say
it's above
classified.
Your security clearance.
That's why you can't find their military records, because it's classified.
I don't have to provide any proof
whatsoever. My ass.
No proof. None. Just what comes out of their mouth, and people will believe it because I'm selling it. And there's this conspiracy theory group that believes anything anti-government about Area 51 and any of this stuff. So if anybody says it, it's instantly believed, and that's where Brockbrader made his debut.
Yeah, he
with
cashed
that
in on
crowd
that
that
belief.
just believed him without any proof whatsoever.
No proof.
Not a single
None.
shred of it.
Oh, that's an interesting attitude.
Black Ops Marine and the Ultimate Warrior, PL.
That's my AI dancing on David Wilcock's grift grave.
No
yes,
proof.
Frank Perro, classified as hell.
And telling people it's above their thing. The other thing that gets thrown around on these conspiracy, and we'll get into a couple of guys like this right here, and this bonehead that went after Brockbrader with oh boy, defending him after what I told them he had done, and they knew he was a pedophile and a dishonorably discharged guy, and they just rolled in his dung. It was just disgusting what those clowns had done for him.
Including Wilcock.
The other thing that gets thrown around in these channels is part of your education. Now remember, you got
fake Navy SEAL.
It's classified.
Dishonorably discharged.
It's above your security clearance. And the other one is he's a whistleblower.
No, he's not a whistleblower. He's a bullshitter. That
gets thrown around a lot on these videos. They tag it in there, whistleblower, and everybody's like, oh my God, he's going to reveal some secrets from Area 51 or these MK Ultra, all these, just this classified stuff. Whistleblower. Let me tell you what a whistleblower is. Dan Crenshaw, the SEAL with one eye, Congressman Crenshaw, asked for whistleblowers to come forward today. A whistleblower, and that was over the Afghanistan debacle. He doesn't care if you're from the State Department, you're a soldier on the ground, part of the aircrew guy, whatever. He wants you to come forward and tell your story, and they are going to vigorously check it and confirm the story. They're not going to go, it's classified. They're not going to say it doesn't matter. It's just you running your lips saying you're a whistleblower. There's been some infamous whistleblowers. Julia Roberts played in the movie Aaron Brockovich of PG&E in California. They had poisoned the entire town and caused all that cancer with all those kids and the families and people dying everywhere. She played a legal assistant that was investigating all this shit. And guess who she bumps into? She bumps into a whistleblower, a guy that worked at PG&E and kept all these records. Here they are, right here. Here's everything you need, right here. It's not him saying I'm a whistleblower. It can be like Cassidy saying, talking all that stuff. That's a whistleblower. That's a real whistleblower. Somebody that has some genuine information. So it's always it's classified. They're going to show no proof whatsoever. Those are frauds. They call them whistleblowers because that gets your attention. Okay, there's an alien spacecraft depot deep under the ice in Antarctica, and some whistleblowers, some Navy SEAL whistleblowers, are going to get on here and talk about it. Jan Lynn's texting. They're watching this right now. She's tough. Man, that girl is tough.
Don't write it down and don't tell anybody. Right, that is the best way.
We'll get back to her. So this whistleblower is not somebody that just does this, and these conspiracy theory YouTube channels just put it out as that. No proof, man. None. They don't provide anything. So I'm just merely trying to save you guys some trouble with that.
Interesting that he informed Kerry and David.
The newest whistleblower that Cassidy did before she went was a guy named Captain Mark Richards. Captain Mark Richards is in jail for murder.
Another of her so-called whistleblowers.
Oh, no. He is a Vietnam veteran that is a whistleblower. And no, he's not. The only proof he could provide was a award certificate of meritorious whatever it was, that he was in a boat unit in Vietnam and had his name on it and everything else. Somebody sent that to me, and all I did was go to warboats.com. It's the river patrol guys in Vietnam, and I found. So there's a lot of forgeries that are out there, and I'm a master at spotting fake DD-214. So just as they provided, we've seen a couple of them, they'll quickly flash up like they're DD-214, and then you got me in there trying to zoom.
simply goes through and proves that they're using fake documents to support their claims of being Navy SEALs or Special Forces or whatever. And he expertly just completely destroys and busts these people. So we're gonna go to one of the interviews that David Wilcock did. And by the way, I want to once again cite fair use. This is a transformative work. We're educating the public about how Kerry Cassidy and David Wilcock scammed their audiences and how they defended this dishonorably discharged fake Navy SEAL who's also a child predator, a convicted one. So convicted, he has to register everywhere he lives as a registered S offender. So we'll get into a little bit of this. It's 3 hours. We're not doing any. I don't know. Maybe we'll do it.
On
No, predator
Tommy
is the monkey in the middle here.
and the people sound, so I can see what we're looking. If we're actually coming across, and if there is any problem, please. Actually, now I know that they are doing
I profit off my lies.
Commercials. That's really unfortunate. I thought they didn't do commercials during the broadcast, so maybe I should have paid for this channel this time, but we're kind of low on funds. So I do want to start this out by saying that we are accepting donations, the Project Camelot, and I also want to put a pitch in there for helping David Wilcock with his work. And then if
they're taking donations to defend a child predator and pretend that he was a Navy SEAL. They're taking donations to give people completely and totally fake stories and re-victimize the original victim in that case that Bill Wood was involved in. They're taking donations to lie to people and pretend that he was a Navy SEAL and went on secret missions. He's a dishonorably discharged child predator. Why should we donate to you, Kerry, or you, David Wilcock, for doing this? You two are scumbags.
If anyone wants to support Bill Wood, his email address
send
is
him
available
money too.
on the interview page on Project Camelot Productions. And you can get there by clicking on the front page of Project Camelot.
Yeah, that was probably in his
and
phase.
That way you can write to him and find out about donating to him. He didn't have time to actually arrange for a donation button per se.
Don't worry,
so I'm hopeful that we are broadcasting well and live, and it looks like we are. Going to enlarge this so I can actually see if
low on funds and credibility.
Okay, yeah, yes, and the questions are already coming kind of fast and furious on the chat. Okay, great. So at this point, everyone knows that the primary person here is Bill Wood. This is not his real name. For anyone who's not listened to the interview before watching this, you should have done your homework. But if you didn't, it's okay. We will be going over many, many things here.
David's forehead.
One of the things that I want to start out with is asking Bill Wood to explain to people about his top secret or above top secret clearance, because we have a number of Navy SEALs out there who are basically going haywire because they feel that they're getting a bad name, et cetera, et cetera. And Bill Wood has been a Navy SEAL. I have his records in hand, and the above top secret clearance is not visible on these records, and there's a reason for that. And
I have his records of being a Navy SEAL. He was never a Navy SEAL. Kerry Cassidy, you scammer. David Wilcock, you scammer. He was never, ever a Navy SEAL.
Actually, I'll let Bill Wood explain to everyone. So go right ahead.
Okay. Basically, what I want to say to everybody out there who's doubting, my credentials and what I did in the military, all I can say is I'm completely fine with that because
I gotta trust the rat to give you the information.
I don't have evidence that there is a SEAL Team 9. I think it's pretty plausible that people recognize that the Navy didn't just forget the number 9 when they were making SEAL teams. And up until very recently, SEAL Team 6 didn't exist either. So there's a lot about what I did that is considered above top secret.
Yeah.
And I'm sure
Trust
everybody would
records for
agree
Navy
that
SEAL stuff.
after
Don't trust the court
9/11,
records for conviction. Yes.
that those records were probably scrubbed clean from ever existing. So
Oh, they
that's
wiped
what I
my
have to say about
record.
that.
The Bob Lazar excuse.
I would
They
like
wiped
to
my
recognize
educational
that,
records.
after my interview, I did have the opportunity to talk to David after that.
She is not.
And David and I have since talked for many
Still
hours.
beam nut.
And
That's correct.
we were absolutely thrilled to find out that we have been working in tandem without ever knowing it. And it,
David Wilcock spent hundreds of hours talking to this child predator. David Wilcock, why do you hang out with so many child R's? He also hangs out with Steven Tyler, right? And for those unaware, Steven Tyler once adopted a 16-year-old girl legally from her parents so he could fuck her. And David loves hanging out with that guy, right? Dropping his name. Oh, Steven Tyler invited me to his charity. Why is David Wilcock hanging out with so many child predators? And Dave, with a kind and generous $2, David Wilcock looks like a character in a Tim Burton movie. Yeah, I think that you are correct, sir.
Ra commands you to bow down and praise the cash.
Thank you for your kindness. I will check in as well with the Kick Live chat. We've got Castle Bar Wedding and Beano Casino over in the Kick Live chat. I'm going to check in with the Kick Creator dashboard and see if we have any support over there. For those unaware, we thank every single person who supports the show. No, nothing on the Kick side yet. But we'll call it out when it comes. I have faith in you, Kick chatters, that you will support this stream. Don't make me turn off the Kick live stream like DSP does when he doesn't get any money from the Kick chat, right? So David Wilcock's hanging out with this child predator, and they're comparing notes of all the work they've done in tandem. Yeah, right.
when we compared notes, we were strangely thrilled that what he's been doing with his work and what I've been doing with my work were jiving together.
David
now.
Wilcock's hairline is over.
We have since been able to
Time for a buzz cut. Yeah.
get a lot of work done. And
David Wilcock's
what I
dad
have been
knows
working
Tyler.
on.
Yeah. Well, he wrote.
Okay,
for
before
Rolling
Bill, I'm sorry to interrupt you here. I'm going to have to sort of have something of a moderator's stance in this sort of free-for-all question-answer sequence. I need to cover this Navy SEAL issue a little bit more here. We spoke earlier today, and you did explain that there are Navy SEALs out there that have a vested interest in not seeing this
Every Navy
information
SEAL
get
that's
out,
ever become a
and
Navy
people
SEAL is on a
listening
website.
Need to understand
Every single
that.
one that has
I
become
want
a
you
SEAL
to address
is on a
that
website.
issue
He's not
a
on
little
it.
more, if
He's
you
a
don't
fraud.
mind. And
Fake Navy
explain to
SEAL.
people who will not know and don't understand why various Navy SEALs who did not have above top secret clearances, first of all, would not know about you, and second
he's
of all,
above top
have a
secret.
vested
That's why we
interest
can't get his
in
records.
keeping you quiet.
That's why his name was erased from
Okay,
the SEAL
well, that's an
website.
easy explanation. What I've been getting in emails is people have been looking up BUDS training records, Basic Underwater Demolition School.
All SEALs go to that training.
My
There's records of every SEAL that's ever been to that
are
training.
not going to be public information. Flat out, just the way it is. Can't make it be any other way.
They
Sorry.
erased my records.
We
It's the Bob Lazar.
Had
excuse.
9/11, and there's a reason for that. If you want to believe
Special
the popular
Ops
story,
Diddler
that's
Division.
fine.
Yes,
If you
Child Diddler Division.
want to look at the evidence and understand physics and know that buildings just can't fall down the way they fell down during 9/11, then I can help you. But we need to realize that most special
playing
forces
into
people,
9/11
after they leave the
conspiracies.
service, work as contractors for the government or for the military in some way. And they are
No such thing as
dedicated.
above top secret.
And
I agree with you.
they very
This is
much
somebody that actually worked in
are
classified projects and intelligence.
What's a good word?
Same for cosmic top secret that all the UFO clowns use.
Dependent, I guess.
As soon as I hear somebody say
paycheck.
cosmic top secret, I know they're full of shit.
The contractors that come out of the special forces make lots and lots and lots of money. And if wars go away, paychecks go away.
I guess I'll also say here that I have plugged Bill into the insiders network that I'm a part of. Which
his
expanded.
Other insiders, yeah.
And
David Wilcock has insiders.
I was able to
he means
put
he
him
has
in
other
touch with people
bullshitters
who would have eaten him for breakfast if he was fake. And
the
they were
other
very
frauds
impressed.
accepted him as real,
Yeah,
so he must be real.
Yeah, Carrie
My
kind of
other
cut me
fake
off before I got to that
whistleblowers
story,
say
but
he's
I
a
would
real
like to share some
whistleblower.
information
Come on,
that
Wilcock.
when David and I talked, we figured out. The reason that I'm doing what I'm doing is because
you need money.
Back
And you're a
in
chomo,
2008,
so you can't get a real
when I was
job.
living in Las Vegas, I
They'll
was
check your record and won't hire you. Nobody
contacted
wants to
/
hire a
introduced
chomo.
to some people who had a interest
Thank you
in
for chiming in, Chicken.
what goes
Keep
on in
confidential.
Vegas,
I trust
or what
people like
happens
you
in
who have
Vegas.
verified service that I can check into. I've been told that
Myself
100 times.
and
No
somebody
such
that I
thing as
care
above
about
top
very
secret.
much were part of the party scene. And we were introduced to a lot of people. And we quickly figured out that this party scene was just a thinly veiled disguise for drug dealing and prostitution. And the people that participate in these parties
So he has a problem with drug dealing and
very prominent,
hookers, but
very
no problem
recognizable. Doctors,
barring
lawyers,
11-year-old girls.
policemen, judges,
What a scumbag.
famous Hollywood actors and actresses.
Now he's playing into
Lots
Hollywood
of
conspiracies.
big name people. And when I was contacted for this project, I
Good point.
disclosed
Ain't drum.
information about what these parties were about and what was happening in them. The progression of events led to the fact that
There we go. Multiple
what
people chiming in.
happened
No such
was
thing as
that
above top secret.
the people that are involved in these parties are little fish, even though they're, big recognizable names.
Little fish,
The
fish.
people
Let
that I
me
was
in.
working with didn't care.
Oh, no, that's little
They
pig. Sorry.
simply wanted to give these people the same opportunity they gave me to cooperate and to do the right thing and to...
We're 10 minutes in, and so far he has involved 9/11 conspiracies, Hollywood conspiracies, and some kind of conspiracy to cover up his time as a Navy SEAL. Friends, the government can't deny your military records. They cannot and would not do that. There is websites that show everybody who participated in SEAL training or BUDS training. Bill Brockbrader's not on any of them. His own DD-214 detailed military records, which Don Shipley got a hold of because his wife released them, don't mention that he was ever in BUDS training or ever a Navy SEAL. And in fact, he was dishonorably discharged. This is what's called red flags to a researcher. If this person had come to me, I would have gotten the same records that Shipley gotten, and I would have known instantly that he was a complete and total fraud, and I would drop him, like a hot potato. You don't run with a story from a guy that's a chomo, and you don't run with a story by a fake Navy SEAL. But David Wilcock and Carrie Cassidy did.
tear the mask off of what's going on. And
they don't care that he's fake, as long as people will tune in and they can make money selling this guy's
tragic
stupid
things
stories.
that go on in Vegas that the elites have access to.
So when you say these people, you mean the Oath Keepers?
The Oath Keepers, yes.
Yeah.
And this information has been
Oath Keepers
gathered
is kind
and
of
used,
pre-Q
and they talk to
stuff.
these doctors and lawyers and people, and then they give them the same opportunity to cooperate. And for years, this has been building up to now the mega fish.
You're right. The government doesn't work like a Hollywood movie.
Been outed. And there's information that would destroy them, ultimately. And the situation is that nobody really cares about what we were doing. Nobody cares about anybody except the elites. And so I do need to say this one thing to all the Navy SEALs out there. The person that is in charge of this network of parties today currently is an ex-Navy SEAL.
Oh,
everybody
now
would
he's
recognize
attacking Navy SEAls, real Navy SEAls. That's why Shipley went after him.
Class.
How dare he say that? Oh, a former Navy SEAL is running all these rings of child predators. He's the child predator. He's accusing innocent Navy SEAls of being the guy involved with that.
I am allowed to do my job and take care of business and go after the people that need going after. If everybody lays off and gives me a break and
in other words,
doesn't hurt me or the people that I love and care about,
don't criticize my fake
I will
claims.
take these secrets to my grave.
He's
if
bluffing.
I have any problems
Bad poker
or I
face.
find out any of my friends or loved ones have been hurt in any way, Carrie has all the details about who and what and some
and she never released any
juicy pictures, all of which will be put out in the public. And it will give the SEAL community
Bill Brockbrader. He's a fake Navy SEAL, dishonorably discharged from the military for sexually assaulting an 11-year-old girl over and over and over again.
And go about our business, and everything will work out marvelously, and the world will be a much, much better place.
Yeah, don't criticize me.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Yes, go ahead, Bill.
Real Navy SEALs besides Don were going after him, calling him a fraud.
Bill, it's a great pleasure to speak to you. I very much appreciated your interview.
What a great
I have no problem at all with any of your credentials or any of your
Bill has no
testimony.
problem with any of his credentials or testimony.
I have a lot of questions to put to you when we get to that point. One of the interviewer's roles here is to ask questions that we feel others would want us to ask because they're interested in the answer themselves, not necessarily because we have any kind of an axe to grind.
Of course.
And on that basis, once or twice, I believe you mentioned a clearance that could have been interpreted by some to be above top secret. And yet that clearance does not actually exist as a...
Bill actually admitted it doesn't exist.
As a national security level. That's something that exists only in popular culture. And I wonder if you could speak to that at all, because some people may wish to take criticism of you on the basis of your use of that term.
Mm-hmm. Bill, could you just stipulate what the classification is?
Yeah, the classification that I had was indigo. And above top secret clearances are national secrets. They are kept secret. They don't get talked about. They don't get disclosed to people with regular top secret clearances.
That's why my records
they don't get disclosed to anybody with any other above top secret level.
Bill Ryan, gullible idiot.
The information is compartmentalized. So that
sad that these people were so willing to sell a lie.
We don't know what anybody else is doing, and
but
nobody else
willing
knows
to
what
sell
we're
lies.
doing.
David
so
Wilcock
if
spent 5 years
goes bad,
selling Corey Goods
they can
lies.
Whitewash the whole thing.
Here he is selling more lies.
Goes away, and nobody really knows what happened. It just is.
Carrie and Bill Ryan and I all have had extensive interaction with Henry Deacon, who revealed that there are these badges that people have on, and the color of the badge changes depending on where in the facility you go. So it sounds to me like that indigo thing could be a color that these badges make, depending on your
David
classification.
Wilcock, super duper proven maneuver.
Marshall White.
He's using one fraud to back up another
clearance for people that deal with the president, but you don't see people that are near the president with little white badges. Everybody just knows who they are. It's
sad these guys are so willing to sell lies.
You have to understand the level of secrecy that we're talking about. This is of critical importance to the people that would literally be put in jail if people knew what was going on.
Yeah, let me just make an interpretive comment here, because now I understand what was happening here with the semantics. That the clearance level called above top secret does not exist. Like top secret, above top secret, that's not legitimate.
Only.
That's just a term. But what I hear you talking about and what David was talking about was that there are many levels that are above the top secret level, and
it's
those
common UFO mythology.
confuse each other.
Common mythology.
It's a bucket.
Many
It's a
UFO
bucket.
stories.
It's if you have a top secret level clearance, you get to know any information that's top secret. If you have an above top secret level clearance, you get to know the information that's top secret and the information that's in your classification and nothing else. Certain classifications, you get to have, many
clearances
areas
are not by
of,
color. I agree.
Involvement in secret information.
Lopez,
but
you are correct,
it's all
sir.
classified by a color or a term. And whatever your term or color is above top secret is the information
Many levels
you
of
have access
bullshittery.
to.
That is correct.
Of course, you have
Cosmic banana.
access to all top secret information as well.
Many levels
all
of
classified
bullshittery.
information as well. But it's that compartmentalization that you need to understand, that information can't spill over from one group to the other.
Let me just interject one thing here. And I hope I'm not treading too close to the edge saying this, but Bill, you had mentioned that these levels of classification have been handed out almost like Pez candy since 9/11.
Top secret level clearances, there's...
I don't believe that's
know
true.
Exactly how many, but
I believe
way more than a
secrecy
million.
increased after 9/11.
And that's an incredible amount of people that have access to very sensitive information. And that has very much been displayed in my life because a lot of people have come to me and told me things that
according to his own military
I couldn't
records.
But at
was
the
a
same
grunt,
time, I see things
low
on
level
TV
E1 in the
that
Navy.
at least used to be top secret.
A loser.
Absolutely.
So I don't know what's going on, and I haven't been in for 10 plus years. So, somebody could speak much better about that than me.
Too gay for the public to know.
What I would like to do also,
Wolverine.
just before we really get into everything here, because we didn't spend a whole long time, I don't think, in the interview, I have a document that gives your training and also gives your actually, you have some medals that you won.
I have a fake document.
So
that
I don't know if you want to
gave
speak
me.
to any of that, but it would be valuable, I have been told, by certain outsiders if you would name areas of your training and
can you
just
lie?
like a laundry list of various training that you've had.
Tell us some more
really
stories. The morons watching.
It really wouldn't. That document is declassified. It isn't going to produce anything sensitive.
In other words, he didn't win any medals.
It's not going to
just made up a
not
document.
going to talk about the really good
Gave
medals
it to Carrie because she's a moron.
It doesn't talk about my
him.
trident.
Okay, are you able to talk about those yourself, though?
Yes, I along with many Navy Achievement medals, good conduct medals.
Good conduct medals. He got good conduct medals? Was that before or after he was sexually assaulting an 11-year-old girl? Did they give him a good conduct medal?
Probably before. Medals, combat action ribbon.
Before, if that's
I
even
received
true.
a Bronze Star.
I doubt it is.
He
didn't
for
receive a Bronze
combat
Star.
action where we got shot up pretty bad.
He never was in
made
combat.
Safe.
He was never in
I
combat.
also got a Navy commendation with Valor for
and he never won that
somebody's
either.
life. All of which are classified, so I
Where did you do your training?
them because
you can't talk about it. It's classified. Chicken
possibly harm the people that were involved in the execution of those missions.
He got the Medal of Grooming. There
I will say this about that document. The reason that I gave it to you is it points out very clearly
Most despicable
that
chomo
even though
of the
I
year.
was convicted of 11 years in prison, I still managed to get out on the exact day that I was supposed to get out if I otherwise wasn't convicted of anything.
Listen to that. He admits he spent 11 years in jail
I received
for
pay
being a chomo.
while I was in jail. Those are two very important things to pay attention to that aren't classified.
Okay, and Leslie, I have people, obviously a lot of Navy SEALs, and is a rumor mill out there that's really going full force as a result of actually some of those probably Navy SEALs, maybe well-meaning as they may be, who simply do not understand.
Navy SEAls.
They don't even know that Osama bin Laden was not killed by SEAL Team 6. He actually died many years ago, and that's documented. But it's documented more in the,
you moron. That's
if
fake.
you would call it, the conspiracy or so-called conspiracy areas that we deal with on a daily basis.
It's the P word.
But people do not understand the relationship you had with this.
That's what they call those people in prison. If you go to jail,
girl.
And
now somebody is writing to me that the girl was 12.
They call you a child.
Can you please
tomorrow
address
she'll be
that?
11, and that day after that she'll be 8.
A child.
Yeah.
You know, these people don't show any information. It's just talk. They don't show any proof. They don't even show their faces. So
not true.
You know,
Don Shipley showed his face. He showed your records. He showed what a fraud you are. He showed the court-martial documents of your conviction for child-related offenses against a child of a sexual nature under 16 years old. He showed all the records. This guy is bluffing. Oh, none of them have any proof. The proof is out there, you clown. And look at Wilcock like a deer in headlights. Oh, this is a great whistleblower.
I don't care.
He's got a top secret clearance.
Okay, but in the interview, basically, I just want the facts on the table in this live stream so that we can.
He literally told them that he spent 11 years in prison for being a child predator, and they're still going forward with his stories, both Wilcock and Kerry Cassidy. I mean, not for nothing, but no matter how much I really want to believe someone, once I know about a conviction like that, they're not to be trusted. I won't trust anything they say. And neither would any real or decent journalist or researcher. But that didn't stop Wilcock and Kerry Cassidy from cashing in and selling this despicable, disgusting child predators' fake stories and fake military history and fake claims of being a Navy SEAL. It's despicable that these clowns did this.
Get on with it, you know what I'm saying? And the facts are that you had consensual sex with a 16-year-old and you were 25 at the time.
It wasn't.
That it was not against the law where you were located, which I understand was.
He fed Kerry fake facts. The sexual acts was not consensual at all. And it wasn't a 16-year-old girl. It was an 11-year-old girl who he did that to. You notice how he tried to make it okay? Well, I was 25. She was 16. It was legal where I was at the time. No, it wasn't, Carrie. Those are false facts to go along with the false reality that this guy was a Navy SEAL.
I believe San Diego, but clarify it.
Let me stop you there.
Go right ahead.
It has been since pointed out to me that it may have been against the law. So I will amend my statement and say this. I was not tried in the state of California, even though this incident occurred in the state of California. I was tried by the military, even though proper protocol and procedure would say that I should have been tried by the state of California.
No, proper protocol.
Okay, but you were also tried 2 years after the fact. Is that correct?
Say that again.
You were tried 2 years after the fact.
Well, sometimes
the military went back 2 years to find this incident and then charge you. Is that correct?
That's correct. And the incident occurred long before my court-martial occurred, yes.
Well, isn't that interesting?
So at this point, I think that we covered the most controversial areas that the SEAL teams out there, the various Navy SEALs, etc., are concerned about.
David Wilcock,
and
you scumbags!
What I would like to do also is talk just briefly, and I'm sorry to delay this here, but I would like you to touch on Osama bin Laden and SEAL Team 6.
Oh, come on.
SEAL Team 6 was said to have killed Osama bin Laden recently, and
that's because that's reality, you dumb moron. And isn't it interesting that David Wilcock is sitting there? Don Shipley gave them all the records of this person's conviction for, this attack against an 11-year-old girl. They're saying, oh, he was 25, she was 16, and it was consensual. Did you read the court documents? I'm sorry, did you read the court-martial documents, you scumbags? Did you read them? Why don't you read those court-martial documents to your audience so your audience can know what this scumbag did to that 11-year-old girl, you pieces of shit? No, you're right there to get a paycheck out of this, though, aren't you? My God. Sheila Radler with one for the goal. Stephen, I sent you a cool email. Did you get it? I can check in. You got to email me at, for those unaware, you can always email me at trueseekershow@gmail.com. But a lot of people screw that up. They put an extra S in or whatever. Let me check the email. And also, I got to check in with the Buy Me a Coffee. Somebody bought 20, count them, 20 beers for me. Sheila Radler, yes, I did get those photos that you sent me. I'm going to show them on the show, but I can't do it today because we have so much to cover. But thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support of the show. Much appreciated.
Ra commands you to bow down and praise the cash.
Thank you very much, Sheila Radler. And those were cool pics. She sent me some cool UFO photos. I think it's a weird cloud, but it's still interesting. What is the PDF file's name again? Bill Brockbrader. And here I will, 1 second. Let me, we shared earlier in the broadcast a screenshot which shows his full, complete legal name. Make him famous, friends. But thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support of the show.
Praise the cash, praise the cash. Thank Ra Almighty, praise the cash. Praise the cash, praise the cash. Thank Ra Almighty.
I will share that screenshot before the end of today's broadcast. Thank you, Manila Toaster, for your kindness, generosity, and support in helping us to praise the cash.
They disappeared or were disappeared in a so-called helicopter accident that included all of them. Is that not true?
This is public knowledge.
Okay, but there are a lot of people, believe me, who have no idea.
Of course, she's got to spin her own conspiracy in with all this.
SEAL Team 6 didn't exist.
Don't trust
then
the SEALs involved that wrote books about it.
SEAL Team 6 goes in, captures, kills Osama bin Laden, and throws his body into the sea without ever recording a minute of footage, even though every SEAL out there knows that never happens. Everything that we do is mostly documented and recorded.
That is correct.
And then shortly after that, they loaded 20 SEALs and 18 other Special Forces people.
Yes, you know, buy me a beer over
some
there.
Were not our military, but a total of 38 people onto a helicopter.
And 20.
That helicopter was somehow destroyed. Some say it was an RPG. The news said it was an RPG.
But those weren't the same individuals, were they? It was just members of the same team. Correct?
No, there was many members of SEAL Team 6 on that helicopter.
They were the same individuals.
No, but, sorry, let me clarify my question. What I meant was that members of SEAL Team 6 supposedly were involved in Osama bin Laden's assassination. And then other members of SEAL Team 6 were in the helicopter.
For those unaware, I recently had some big financial setbacks, and I was forced to drink Brokey beer. Now, if you're not familiar with Brokey beer, that's that when you go into a beer distributor and you get the cheapest 30-pack of beer you possibly can. And that's hangover juice. I don't like Brokey beer, but I was having some financial difficulties. So we had to stop buying good beer and go to the Brokey beer to survive, right? But luckily I only had a few weeks of that. And I decided that the Buy Me a Beer system, it's Buy Me a Coffee, I changed it to Buy Me a Beer, will now be used to support my beer funds. So only you can save Steve Cambion from Brokey beer. Do you want me drinking hangover juice while I'm trying to work and research and edit videos? No, and neither do I. So you kind and generous people have stepped up to save me from the hangover juice Brokey beer. AJ7 Secrets bought 20 beers. North bought 20 beers. That's $100. That'll go a long way towards stopping me from drinking hangover juice Brokey beer. Thank you, North. Hope all is well. I've been a little missing in action, but I'm sneaking back into the debunker sphere. I can't stand all this bullshit, fake whistleblower nonsense. Well, thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. And we've also got someone, initials MV, who bought 1 beer. So that's 21 beers where I will not have to, I'm using that buy me a beer to stop drinking the hangover juice. So thank you for your kindness, North, your generosity, and your support of the show. It is much, much appreciated. And thank you for everybody buying me a beer. Arlene has shared the link where you could do that, and I appreciate every one of you. And by the way, I got some decent beer already. I got a Yingling Lager, and I have these, which are like, this is a guilty pleasure of mine. I've been drinking this girly beer because I'm on a diet, trying to lose weight. This is Michelob Ultra Lime Cactus, and it is delicious. I really like this. The normal Michelob Ultra, I drink it, but it's not very tasty. Lime Cactus Michelob Ultra. Thank you to the people buying me a beer. And just know that when you buy me a beer, I'm really buying a beer with it. You have my gratitude and my thanks, and thank you so much for your support. All right, we will continue with the feltoning of David Wilcock and Kerry Cassidy helping a child predator so that they could cash in and make some money on his fake conspiracy land stories and his fake military claims.
Helicopter accident, because SEAL Team 6 isn't just a few people. SEAL Team 6 is quite a large team.
Yes, it is, Bill, but you're missing the point. There were many of the people that were on that helicopter and were killed, did take part in the SEAL Team 6 raid on Osama bin Laden. They were on that raid, and they were on that helicopter, and they were killed.
I wasn't aware that there was a 100.
Really important, because we're talking about that are in this sector are very familiar with how people are silenced. It supposedly was an accident. Okay, these kinds of accidents happen all the time when people are not supposed to talk about something that might happen. And
now
actually, there wasn't 100% overlap in the personnel, but there were many of the personnel, the key people that were involved in the raid were involved in the helicopter accident.
Yes. Let me say this very clearly, Kerry. We don't know which members of SEAL Team 6 participated in the raid.
He does look like Uncle Fester.
Well, okay.
We know which members of SEAL Team 6 were killed, but it was never disclosed about who participated in the operation.
Okay, well, I did read a newspaper article that did name certain individuals that were in both places.
I agree. There's no way this little pencil neck.
Yeah, no problem. This is the kind of thing we have. We have news. You can either catch it or catch.
Does he look like he can make it through that training? He probably can't make it through basic training.
Not everyone can see everything. Okay, so from this point on, let's move forward. Now, I do want to give David Wilcock the first sort of stab at all of this. To ask you whatever questions and bring out the topics that perhaps you've been talking about offline. And
we need to talk about that.
Okay, great. And we'll start because David was first to come on board.
I never had one.
And then after David feels he's sufficiently covered enough material, let's give Bill Ryan a chance, okay? And since I had my chance early on, I will take last position here, but I also want to give the people who are now furiously asking questions in the chat a chance as well. So I will step aside for them as well. So let's go, David. This is your shot.
Okay.
Yeah, shoot your shot, David.
I guess there's a couple things
what questions do you have for the child predator
personally while I have the chance.
Scumbag.
Before I go into questioning, because
fake stories
Bill and I discussed this before, that there are certain pieces of information that are unique to my sources that I wanted to get out there.
I didn't know that.
First of all, this strange sounds that people are reporting hearing all over the world.
All right, let's mix in some other
which is a metallic, deep, resonating
boom
sound, along with whistling noise.
Yeah, too bad he's a butt pirate.
Carrie and Bill, both of you, Bill Ryan,
vaginas.
Will remember interviewing Dan Burrish, in which he described working at Area 51
rap sheet excuses
and working with an extraterrestrial
Dan Burrish was a complete and total fraud. He never worked at Area 51. He was a security guard at a casino in Las Vegas at the time he claimed to be working at Area 51. That's a verified fact. And there's another fake whistleblower that David Wilcock is citing and using and milking for fake stories to sell morons. Dan Burrish is a complete and total fraud. And you know, there's something that I call the wackadoo prover maneuver. That's when you got one wackadoo like this guy, Bill Wood, who's a fake Navy SEAL with fake military credentials, with fake secret missions in the military, who's actually a disgraced child predator who was thrown out of the military and placed in 11 years in military prison for continually assaulting an 11-year-old girl over a long span of time. David Wilcock is now using Dan Burrish, who was a fake government scientist who said he worked at Area 51, but he was actually working as a security guard at a Las Vegas casino while he claimed to be working at Area 51. And that is a verified fact. So David Wilcock is doing the wackadoo prover maneuver. Oh, I have this other wackadoo that told me this stuff that aligns with this fake Navy SEAL wackadoo's fake stuff, right?
That apparently, based on his understanding, was a human from Earth's future, but on a catastrophic timeline. Timeline number 2.
Timeline 2.
And that this being
time travel
had a condition called degenerative neuropathy, which caused it to have this sort of praying mantis type of posture, the hunched over posture.
Dan Burrish,
and if you remember, Dan Burrish's area of specialization
and cashed in
was something called the Lotus Project, which was an offshoot of his efforts to take tissue samples of this being.
Yeah, oh God, Dan Burrish has been thoroughly debunked as a complete and total clown. Thank you, Frank Perro, for the big support today, saying that with one for the goal, saying the truth is Wilcock's kryptonite. I believe that you are correct, sir.
Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your generosity. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash.
All right, we're going to continue our journey here. Thank you for all the great support today. I wasn't planning on doing a show today, but since it rained and I can't be working on a cabin, I might as well get some quality time in with you guys. No place I would rather be.
And to then hopefully engineer a genetic solution to its degenerative neuropathy condition. Burrish produced an incredible amount of data online.
Why would you go back?
I was tracking his story all the way back in the year 2000. They have better medical technology
in the future than they do
right now. There was a great deal of information that he put out in the beginning that was since pulled from the internet.
Yeah, we have a multiverse.
But I printed out the book, and I had the entire
worse than
document of everything that he'd put out before it was sanitized off the internet. That convinced me very early in the game, because this is over a decade ago now, that he was for real.
He wasn't for real.
But what I wanted to point out was, you will recall that he said that in the line of this work that he was doing, that there needed to be a fail-safe option. The people running the base felt there needed to be a fail-safe option so that in the event that there was a hostile situation going on in that room, that they could hit a button and instantaneously incinerate the entire room. And that, if you remember correctly,
wow, great story.
Also happened,
evidence for this? Trust me, bro.
Dan Burrish was the main speaker at the International UFO Congress in Laughlin, Nevada, and I was standing right there by the side of the stage, encouraging him to say this stuff.
He got laughed off the stage.
He walked up the shaft that was the ventilation shaft, which they told him was necessary for the underground base to be able to breathe. Okay, it has nothing to do with that. These bases are completely self-sufficient in terms of their air content.
So wouldn't surprise me.
This shaft, as he found out, was to ventilate the fumes, the fire, and the resulting gases and smoke from them burning out a particular area of the base. So I want to make it perfectly clear that we have a through line that establishes that these shafts do exist.
Yeah, we have another wackadoo that said the same stuff as our fake Navy SEAL, so it must be true.
Destroying the personnel and the equipment in the base should a tactical situation arise where that is required.
Yeah, David knows all about shafts.
And we have independently a naval intelligence source that has been the bane of our existence out there. It's called Sorcha Fall. I'm sure you guys all know who I'm talking about. Whatdoesitmean.com is one. EUtimes.net would be the other main website. Posing as a Russian female journalist, but putting out a great deal of disinformation that has fooled an incredible number of people. And each time that a new Sorcha Fall article comes...
You gotta love David Wilcock complaining about disinformation agents while he is actively disinforming the public, claiming that this guy was a Navy SEAL and his records got wiped and they're above top secret, and getting out the broom and sweeping up this guy's child predator past, right? You got to love the fact that he's complaining about disinformation agents as he's actively being a disinformation agent. And we know that because this guy he's pushing right here is a complete total fraud. Isn't that disinformation, David Wilcock, you scumbag? How dare you complain about disinformation? You are the disinformation, Wilcock.
Out, it seems like there's a whole new wave of people that get pulled in. However, I want to point out that the best disinfo always involves drips of truth in between the lies. So taking that into account, I do believe it was a very accurate statement from Sorcha Fall, which is naval intelligence based on leaks that we've had from several insiders, that the sounds that were recorded during the baseball game,
correct. A liar calling out other liars,
that people heard, that the newscasters commented on, say, "Ooh, somebody let the door, open up the door and let the air out." And the fact that those same sounds were heard in Virginia directly before the earthquake that occurred in Virginia, which we have from multiple credible sources, was an actual destruction of the underground base in that area.
We can prove
we have multiple credible reports when we combine Dan Burish and we combine Sorcha Fall, which I believe in this case was telling the truth, saying that that is exactly the sound that you get when you ventilate these air passages. So the couple other things, you can Google the water phone on the internet.
Yep,
the water phone is a musical instrument that is used for horror movie soundtracks. It looks like a big metal plate. It has a bunch of little metal rods coming off of it, and you hold this clamp in the middle. The clamp goes down to the bottom of the plate, and then all the rods come around the central rod that you hold on to. And then you bow it with a violin.
Punch him in his eyes while
and you can get these incredibly haunting sounds, these metallic sounds. And people have said that these noises people are hearing sound just like the water phone. Well, that's correct.
Anybody see
what they don't realize
is
the mechanism is not a water phone.
Suddenly, I don't hate that girl so much.
If you blow into a trumpet, it's basically just a metallic tube, and the resonance of the sound of your lips vibrating then creates the sound.
He does have two.
So I believe that what's going on here is that
maybe that's from one of the reptilian butt bangers.
Bases, these flame exhaust valves are being blown on the bases, knowing that they're going to make a very disturbing noise if they open the aperture and they tweak the aperture a certain way so that the iris is partially open, partially closed. And that the explicit purpose for doing this is to get people terrified that there's going to be some sort of cataclysmic thing that happens on Earth, whether it's an alien invasion or whether it's allegedly magma moving under the crust.
I'm not going to read that one, but I agree with you, Vanilla Toaster.
To asking you a question, Bill, which is your work with timelines 1 and 2, and your understandings based on your psychic training that we actually are existing in a composite reality.
RP, get him.
And the composite is based on
the Alliance never
energy from the sun, energy from the center of the galaxy, energy from the planet itself, and of course, to some varying degrees, the combined composite of people's intention and their mindset and their focus of consciousness. And it would seem to me that if we open up this discussion, some people will not know what you're talking about regarding timeline number 1, timeline number 2. In my view, that's the most significant part of your testimony. And specifically, what happens if a lot of people start thinking that the end of the world is going to be here, Bill?
This is 2011, right as David Wilcock was pushing the Ascension is Coming Soon scam. So he wants to tie in the apocalypse end of the world that he's predicting for 2012 that never came, just like his wife. Ascension never came in 2000, David Wilcock, and neither did your wife. And Ascension never came in 2012, David Wilcock, and neither did your wife. At least not with you, right? Ha ha! Suffer, David Wilcock's ex-wife's vagina. Suffer. You're never going to have an orgasm. With David, she had to resort to having orgasms with cucumbers, friends. Sheila Radler has kindly gifted one True Seekers membership, and we thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support of the show. Much, much appreciated.
Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your generosity. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash.
Thank you, Sheila Radler. Very kind of you. And look at that. John Woodman was gifted a free membership thanks to the kindness, generosity, and support of Sheila Radler. This, my friends, is why you got to hit that subscribe button. You could win a free membership. So far, what are we up to? Like 22 or 23, I think. If at least 21 free memberships have been gifted this during this broadcast. And you could win one, but you must be a subscriber to be eligible to win one, really, you know? Thor Panku says, "Oh boy, Stephen really doesn't like this guy. He's a scumbag and a bottom feeder." Here he is. What we're witnessing is David Wilcock actively helping a convicted child predator who spent 11 years in jail for having sex with an 11-year-old girl. Well, he didn't have sex with her. He AR'd her. It wasn't consensual. Here he is helping that kind of a person lie about his military service, lie about aliens and secret space nonsense, lie about being a Navy SEAL. He's a scumbag. Of course I don't like him. I don't like scumbags. All right. Let's see how farther we could get here.
Okay. It's a very easy explanation, but it's very difficult to understand because it just sounds too simple.
I understand.
What the truth is,
he wants this guy to explain the other
we as human beings have a lot more power than we are led to believe. And that
David's a bottom bitch, for
us
sure.
To be controlled.
He's a bottom bitch.
And if we are controlled by fear, we believe in fear. And if we believe in fear, we create fear. If we do the opposite, and we believe in love or hope,
let's all believe in love and hope.
Let me go back a little bit and say, if you understand how things work, every positive emotion can be, or positive thinking or positive belief can be distilled down into love. And every negative emotion, every negative thought, every negative behavior can be distilled down into fear.
I love how the most despicable of these grifters, including this convicted child predator, is talking about love and light. Were you thinking about love and light when you were doing that to that 11-year-old girl? Were you thinking about that when you threatened her because she came out to tell people the truth about you and your fraud, fake stories on the internet? Were you thinking about love and light as you assaulted an 11-year-old innocent girl over and over and over again? Love and light my ass. These guys are the actual antithesis or opposite of love and light. They are dark, disgusting scumbags.
So that's why I use those two words.
I would agree, yeah.
So if everybody's afraid of the end of the world coming, that's what's going to happen because we don't understand our power.
Yeah, right.
If we have hope and we understand,
sounds like new age nonsense to me.
We are currently on a path that the elite are desperately trying to get back on timeline 2. So they can literally get away with the most incredible crimes to humanity. So they don't have to suffer consequences. And they are the ones that are becoming desperately afraid of what's happening. So they're trying to do everything in their power to create enough fear to push the momentum back in the negative direction. And I've told everybody for...
This is new age word salad nonsense. We create, we manifest what we think of. You know, we've heard this all before. Like, we create our own reality. If you're afraid of the end of the world, you'll create the end of the world, right? You know, the grift has gone too far when you start selling random rocks from your garden. That's correct, Lindsay. For those unaware, David Wilcock is now selling rocks from his yard. Oh, so you can have a connection to him and the Archangel Michael. Wouldn't the Archangel Michael slap the shit out of David Wilcock and say, why are you working with these child predators? Why are you helping them sell fake stories? You know, like, I don't understand how anybody believes that this guy's in communication with the Archangel Michael after his history. Look at his past. We're getting a good look into it today. And somebody mentioned to me that this may scare Mr. Wilcock and he may not do his broadcast tomorrow. There's been multiple times, friends, when he has postponed a broadcast because of a devastating blow I have dealt him. And this, my friends, may be one of those devastating blows. You'll excuse me. I thought somebody was in the yard here at the cabin. Maybe not. Okay. And for those unaware, look up the word Thorpanko. Just Google it. Or Google, what does it mean? It means child, M-O, and you know the rest. It means a child predator of a sexual nature. That's what people call them in prison or in jail, a chomo. I'm using that word because, YouTube doesn't like the P word or the R word or many other words, and they'll demonetize us. So I just wanted to share this before I forget to, before the end of the broadcast here. Let me make it as big as I can here. This is this person's real and legal last name, William Newell Brockbrader. And you'll also, worthy of note, is that he used a fake name when he started with his grift and scams and fake stories. He used the name Bill Wood. And that was to prevent people from finding his child predator past. Is he not going live tomorrow? Well, he's scheduled to, but quite often when we do one of our devastating special reports like this, Mr. Wilcock needs time for his ego to recover and for the fear of God that I put into him to subside before he can go in front of a live audience and lie to thousands of people again.
And most recently in my interview, that we really should have hope. And I can
we should have hope.
I can say that even more so now, having talked to you, because we just found out there's some pretty good reasons to have hope right now.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
When we compared notes and we figured out that
good point. A point I missed.
It's really coming together now. And with all the...
Nothing came together. Nothing that these people predicted happened. Echo, with a kind of generous $2 super chat, says, David's an SA survivor, but supports this guy. WTF. Yeah, what the... is right? But thank you for your kindness. And pointing out a point I missed. If he's an SA survivor, why isn't he siding with the SA survivor in this case of Bill Brockbrader? That poor 11-year-old girl who's now over 40.
Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your generosity. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash.
David Wilcock helped that SA survivor of Bill Brockbrader's be victimized again by his lying about her being 16, by his lying about their encounters being consensual. Anybody can read the court-martial documents of that case. It wasn't consensual, and she was 11 years old. David Wilcock is helping this despicable child predator, helping this disgusting fake Navy SEAL sell fake stories instead of standing with the victim. Thank you for your kindness, Echo. Much appreciated. Echo's a big show supporter, and we appreciate all you big show supporters. Thank you very much.
Positive things that are happening. It is really looking good for the home team right now, even though I can't disclose details because
I don't have any details. I don't have any secret insider knowledge.
It's very easy to mess things up and create a paradox unintentionally. And so
we want to mess up the timeline. We can't mess up the timeline.
To change things as much as possible when you realize that things are going the right direction. And I gave this example to David. If you've ever driven a really large ship, if you try to turn the ship's wheel back and forth and keep the compass right in the middle, the boat swerves back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But if you make tiny adjustments and not focus on trying to keep the compass right in the middle, the ship drives pretty straight.
Well, so I guess we'll allow that, Chrissy. Maybe this was before David uncovered.
We're working to try and do big changes. We're doing our best to make really little adjustments to what we already see is happening.
Coop Confidential,
even though it's not out there popular information land, it's happening.
David Oncecox.
And I can tell you now more so than ever, based on David and I talking and going, holy crap, you're doing that too? Oh, there's more than just us out there working on this effort.
Nonsense
it's probably a significant portion of the military that's on board right now fixing things.
Okay, well, I do want to say that there are others, civilians out there that are just as talented in these areas and are doing their part as well.
Even if you aren't doing that good of work, there's other good people doing work. She always takes away from everybody she talks to.
I'm not sure where you want to go personally with this at this time, but I think it's necessary to get into the nature of Bill Wood's experience with Looking Glass in more depth, which we did not have time to do.
They're talking about Looking Glass, which was a concept invented by fake scientist convicted pimp Bob Lazar. Bob Lazar is the first person to mention the Looking Glass project, which is supposed to be some kind of a device in which you could view historical events like the crucifixion of Jesus, a literal looking glass into the past. Bob Lazar mentioned it as one of the projects being worked on at S4, which doesn't exist. And Bob Lazar was a complete and total fraud. Then Dan Burrish picked it up and ran with it and expanded on the mythology involved with that. And then morons like David Wilcock found other morons like this Bill Brockbrader who were talking about Looking Glass. It doesn't exist. It's not real. It's a work of fiction started by a fake convicted pimp who ran a whorehouse and never worked at Area 51. This is ridiculous. The level of like fakery, fraudery, and bull here. There's multiple layers, right? Bob Lazar starts a fake story, mentions Looking Glass. Dan Burrish expands on the fake story, talks about Looking Glass. Then Bill Brockbrader comes along and expands on the story again. This is how fake UFO mythology is invented, created, promoted, and propagated through the UFO community. And then it just becomes accepted as real with no evidence whatsoever of it being real at all. It all came from frauds, fakers, scammers, and liars.
Okay, great.
Okay.
So go right ahead.
What I would like to do,
it's different
first
than
of all,
Chronovisor, but they probably
is
use
summarize
Chronovisor
some of
story
what
for inspiration.
we have in our Camelot heritage. And by Camelot heritage, I mean going all the way back to the first time that you and Bill Ryan interviewed Mr. X and going on from there. One of the earliest interviews you guys got.
Very original, Mr.
was
X.
Dan Burrish. Now, the Dan Burrish story has confused and befuddled a lot of people.
Yeah, and why is it that internet sleuths could find out that Dan Burrish was a complete and total fraud who was working in Las Vegas as a security guard at the time he claimed to be working at Area 51? Why didn't Bill and Kerry vet him and find out that he was a fraud? Why didn't they find that out? Or did they know that he was a fraud and they pushed his stories anyway because they could make money on them? That's how it works, friends. You just ignore all the evidence that you're talking to a complete and total fraud and a lunatic, and you make excuses if the internet people find out that he's a fraud, right?
but I can speak from personal experience that Bill Ryan had a Camelot summit in Switzerland, and I was present, and we actually traveled with Dan Burish. We had plenty of time to interact with him off the record. And I also, as I said, began following his material as soon as it appeared online back in 2000. So I feel
here, David Wilcock,
that I've extensively been briefed on what Dan Burish had to say.
He's co-signing another
So I would like,
whistleblower.
in a sense, to take the benefit of the doubt for the listener and the viewer and just sort of give a little bit of a background, because I think it will set up what Bill Wood has to say nicely, and then we can get into specific questioning. What we heard from Dan Burish historically was that there was a program called Looking Glass, and that this program involved a very large device.
Not from Burish.
The center of which is a barrel of water. That this barrel of water then has 3 rings that rotate around it. And what it does, what those rings do, is they create a Faraday cage or Faraday shield around the water. It shields off the water from all electromagnetic reference points to our space-time.
Nonsense.
And that electromagnetic null zone apparently allows for very unique hyperdimensional properties of water, which is one of the main reasons why our bodies are 75% water. Water allows for a conduit to exist between the reality that we are in and a parallel universe, which I have now documented scientifically in extensive detail in my book, Source Field Investigations.
Your book is
a reality in which time is three-dimensional.
It's fake.
Time exists as an actual landscape that can be navigated through. And it sounds confusing, but what I'm actually saying is that if you go into this reality,
because it's fake science,
to travel a distance in that reality, which would appear just that you're moving through the landscape, is the equivalent in our reality of actually changing your location in linear time.
The longer I listen to this,
so if you take a portal, which do exist, and you portal over into this parallel reality, and you travel a given distance, and then you portal back into our reality, you will have traveled in time depending on your direction. If you travel ahead of the position the Earth was in when you left, you will end up in the future. And if you travel behind the position the Earth was in when you left, you will go into the past.
To say that.
So what we've heard is that the Looking Glass technology is actually a reverse engineering of the pineal gland in the brain, which functions by the same mechanism. And I've documented this extensively in my book with medical references, that this gland does create a Faraday shield, a Faraday...
This reminds me, friends, I have turned down all of the bells and whistles. And I think that so far, except for the audio issues at the beginning, which we've resolved, this has worked out. But for just a little while, friends, I'm going to turn the animation dials back up, and we're going to see if this works. I have a feeling, because of the bandwidth, is like it's literally exactly enough to do an HD stream here. And I don't understand how I'm getting like 300 download and only like 6 to 8 or 9 upload speed, but that's what we're experiencing here. So we're going to try to turn the animations back up and see if this works. Let me go to this one, which is a frequent one we use. And please bear with me. If we get a lot of drop frames or the stream starts spazzing out, we'll turn them back down. And let's continue just a little more of this.
Cage around water inside. And then what happens is people say when they have an out-of-body experience, they see a silver cord come out of their body. And their astral body's out there floating around in space, and whatever their astral body sees is then wired into the brain via the pineal gland, which is the junction point between your physical body and your, what they would call in the black programs, the transient body. So the Looking Glass device, and this is based on Burish and a couple other whistleblowers I got access to.
Yeah, like
the Looking Glass device is a reverse engineering of the pineal gland, but on a much larger level. We heard that if you approach this device, which is very large, that whomever approaches the device then couples with your mind, and it enhances your natural abilities to be able to access what I like to call the source field.
The source field. Yeah, he's got to tie it in. He's got to tie all this in with the book that he's selling currently. He will weave any conspiracy in with his books to sell his books. And I just want to put on the record that even many, many really biased true believers have admitted that Dan Burisch was a complete and total fraud. The one that jumps to my mind is Michael Schratt. Michael Schratt once spent all this money doing illustrations of all of Dan Burisch stories, but eventually even Michael Schratt was convinced that he was a complete and total lunatic and a fraud, and he was just literally selling stories. CN with the kind and generous £1.99 says Wilcock's Astro Buddy got butt banged by Astro aliens. That is correct, sir. That is correct. Yes, my friends. And let me find the. I apologize. I lost the bumpers. Oh, here we go.
Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. The blue chickens command you to praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash.
Yeah, you should stop by when we do the Dark Side Phil streams. Those are funny too. I don't know how much longer I can listen to this shit. Well, I'm trying to end it off at an even number so I remember. We're at 46 minutes. I think we're going to go to the 1 hour mark and then we'll stop it there.
Or this parallel reality where time is three-dimensional.
I have a little more time to share, but it looks as if it stopped raining, so I could get some firewood making in today. I gotta fill a firewood shed somehow, and I'll be scrounging around here for fallen trees and stuff until dark after this broadcast. But thank you all for being here. If you're just joining us, I'm broadcasting from the Apocalypse Cabin today. And hopefully, if this stream setup works, there'll be more shows from the cabin all winter on the weekend, either Friday night, Saturday night, or Sunday afternoon.
Whatever you think you want to see, or wherever you think you want to be looking at, is what appears in this argon gas that is
it's not the source field, it's the bullshit field.
Central
That's
barrel
correct.
inside
You're
looking
correct.
glass. There's a fisheye lens distortion around the edges of the sphere of argon gas. The argon gas creates a yellowy color. And that in effect, whatever the person wants to see is what's inside. The last little piece of data that I want to toss in
is resonating out. Look at Wilcock.
From Burisch, using this device.
Oh, somebody spooched all over Wilcock during the live.
Being witnessed.
Look at that.
Post 1983.
They spooched all over him.
1983. Apparently, there was some sort of catastrophic event in which humanity has now bifurcated onto two different timelines.
Yeah, of course we're going to cover
one timeline ends in catastrophe. Sure. The other timeline does not.
Excuse me, David. I'm just sorry. You're starting to come back into focus. Your video started to go completely out of sync.
That was alien.
While you're talking.
Aliens spooched all over him.
I can see on the live stream.
That's what happened.
What the live stream sees is my desktop, just so you know.
Okay, I'm probably moving my hands too much.
Maybe so. There's a lot of motion. So what happens is I do want to stop you also because I am concerned that you may also be mixing up the yellow cube or yellow book and looking glass.
No, definitely not.
No,
he's not.
All right.
No,
I'm just trying to set a groundwork because
he knows what
I
kind
think
of bullshit he's
everything else that's substantive that could follow in this discussion would benefit from this philosophical and scientific foundation that I'm trying to lay.
Let me direct.
You should finish.
Yes, I hear you.
About this.
I understand. Okay, that's fine. I will allow him to finish. But I do want to say this testimony that he's talking about, the information coming from Dan Burisch, is on a Project Camelot video, which is on the Project Camelot library.
Yeah, notice
it is called Stargate Secrets, and it was filmed in 2007 by Project Camelot. So go right ahead, David. But if you want to research this and hear it from the horse's mouth, so to speak, which is Dan Burisch, that's where to go.
It's highly compelling stuff, and I want to point out that I've had access to 4 other insiders who have not spoken to Camelot.
Yeah, that he won't.
And have validated and extended what I know about this.
Oh, come on.
So that's another thing.
Wilcock does this all the time. He'll be talking to one fake whistleblower, and he'll just say, I've had 3 other people confirm this information is accurate to me, 3 other government insiders, but he never names them. So this is just a poker game to him with bluffing.
Whom I met through Richard Hoagland.
Another
couple
fraud.
others,
Hoagland's another fraud.
Daniel being
He's
one.
the face
We
of
remember
Mars
talking about that. This is the guy who allegedly worked on the
promoter.
Phoenix 3 project, which people colloquially call Montauk. What we've heard, I'm just trying to set it up so that Bill can go and take the ball. 1983, apparently,
I think David wants Bill to take his
messing
balls.
around in the Phoenix 3 project or the Montauk project, creating portals, creating time apertures. They sent much too much energy through, and it was done deliberately. And that's a long discussion, but they did this deliberately to allow a very large manifestation to come through a portal that ended up destroying the base. But there were unintended consequences by creating a portal that big, and what it did is it actually, to some degree, damaged the fabric of time as it flows on Earth.
Oh,
and apparently, from what I've heard, and Bill, you can probably straighten me out on this, but we all have been jumping back and forth between these 2 timelines in our own lives.
Yeah, one seemed to
and the decisions that were made.
To validate them. None of them.
What I also
exist.
heard from Burish, and again, Terry, I believe this is all on your video, is that there is a flicker rate between these 2 parallel realities, and that it requires computer servers and high-speed film. They have to high-speed film what the data is in the looking glass. You don't just get to see whatever you want to look at.
Reptilian
you get 2
shapeshifter.
realities that interlace with each other so fast that you can't really make sense out of it.
They're stealing this.
And that those 2 realities, the flicker rate, the frame rate between them goes faster and faster up until December 21st, 2012, at which time the flicker rate is so fast that no useful information can be gained from the looking glass at that point. I want to say that I brought this up recently to one of my top insiders, and he literally shivered in his boots because Looking Glass is so classified that he didn't even want to talk about this over the phone. But Bill, what I can honestly say is, when I saw your interview, there were enough things that you said that made me very, very aware that you are not just pruning from Project Camelot data and from things that I put in my book. You are very much an original source who actually had access to Looking Glass.
He didn't have access.
So I think everybody is on the edge of their seat wanting to know,
he's a fraud.
How did you get involved in this? What was your experience with the device? And what did you come to understand about Timeline 1, Timeline 2, and how it affects our immediate future this year?
Okay. First question, how I got involved in it.
Weaving together 2 different bullshitters.
Part of my special training.
Sell it.
Special. Something that I was just good at, and having specific training enhanced this ability. But I guess I could explain it as intuitive problem solving.
He had no training for that.
Many times in my career in battlefield situations or in combat planning or mission planning.
It was never in combat.
I was able to glean conclusions that ultimately it was exactly the way it happened. Because of that information and the awareness of my ability to do these things in a kind of freaky way, I was brought into the Looking Glass project to try to solve the very problem that you were speaking about.
In other words, has superpowers, psychic.
Let me just say this is a very heavy subject.
Eventually talk about their superpowers,
and,
you know.
Everybody needs to know that the best understanding is to know that we know nothing about what time is. Our level of knowledge is so small and so infantile.
We're bullshitters all trying to out-bullshit each other.
Distorted that I can literally describe it as an illusion. Something that we have made up so we can understand something that we don't understand.
Long-time show supporter, and says,
that being said,
fully trained at bullshitting. Yes.
And understanding string theory, and that when you exercise free will and you make a decision,
real science sounds like
the opposite choice still exists. It doesn't exist where you exist, but it still exists.
How do the others not roll their eyes?
Think of it as a dream world.
Because they're all working
together. So you make one decision in this reality, and then you go to sleep at night, and you make the opposite decision, and both have consequences.
We've heard insiders call this layered time.
Remember
that each
child predator,
each probable outcome creates a layer that does exist in some probable reality.
I'm gonna find you.
Yes, and what is hard to understand is that as we get closer to 2012, and nobody's completely solved this problem, not even me.
What a fraud!
But as we get closer to 2012,
selling this
choices
as real
end in inevitable consequences, and that's really tough to understand.
The plot of Inception,
because it's hard to imagine that no matter what choice you make, the path twists back to one inevitability. But that's what happens. There are many, many paths, but there is only one destination.
Is he talking about
the
butterfly effect? I zoned down.
Every time you take the wrong path, that path inevitably leads back to the only path that takes you to your destination. Easiest way to explain. So in investigating the problem with the 2012 coincidence, my determination was that
it says his meds are kicking in. He's getting loonier.
There's a contraction of the timeline.
Give this lying ugly fuck money.
Choices
I don't know.
Are eliminated by our understanding of life and knowledge, and being given more information, and a million other things that will happen very soon that we don't understand yet because they haven't happened yet. But basically, the way it ends, and the only information that I got was that it came down to two timelines. And it was very clear that this
two different
actually happened.
Greys and reptilians. They've both been in.
They wanted to know is that it does come down to two timelines,
cried about
two inevitable conclusions. What I was supposed to solve was which conclusion was going to happen. It was kind of a funny answer. And the answer is whichever one we choose.
Isn't it interesting that this guy claims that the government chose him for a top secret project? Why would the government choose to employ a child predator? Nobody wants to employ a convicted child predator. It's so stupid. This whole thing is so stupid. They're sitting here with a child predator who spent 11 years in jail for R-ing an 11-year-old girl over and over again that was a member of his family. He got convicted in a military court during a court martial, did 11 years in jail, but Wilcock and Kerry and Bill are sitting there like, this guy's telling us great information. He's confirming our other fake whistleblower stories. It's so stupid. And so despicable that they would do this. They knew about his past. And they're calling him a credible whistleblower, a credible witness. They're scumbags. They're scumbags for doing this.
Because it's too complicated, as you said, even for supercomputers to figure this issue out. And all I can tell you is what my intuition tells me about this is that the reason I was being asked the question is because they were trying to figure out how to make Timeline 2 happen. And there seemed to be a lot of information about how to guide the paths to
speaking very slowly,
displace the path the way you want it to go, even though
it goes along.
It seemed inevitably that we were going to go down one path.
Bill, did you ever hear of a device called a TVG? Time vector generator?
No.
Yeah, Daniel, one of my contacts, said that they actually
one of my other
whistleblowers
told me about
called
this.
TVGs or time vector generators.
One of my imaginary friends told me this story.
Try to send energy to strengthen a particular timeline.
Yeah, I never dealt with that. No.
Yeah, we also heard that there were Project Sigma created conferences every year where they were trying to solve this issue of the timelines, and everybody who goes back and watches the Dan Burrish video on Camelot will see that he referred to it as the DCTP, or the Doctrine of the Convergent Timeline Paradox. And
he
was saying that timeline number 2 is catastrophic.
They love making up fake acronyms because that makes it sound like a real program, I think.
Timeline number 1 is not. He also was saying that this was related to a solar event. He said that the sun at the end of this year will release a massive blast of what he referred to as micro wormholes. And that these micro wormholes...
He's tying this into his 2012 prophecies now so he could sell books to morons.
...may not be visible to the eye, but that they constitute portals in time that actually are created by the sun.
We'll all get superpowers.
He said
the solar flash.
That these portals actually remarkably change the energy budget of the Earth, how much energy runs through the Earth, and that if the looking glass devices were left intact, that they would create a much greater flow of these micro wormholes, this time flow, for lack of a better term, through them rather than the rest of the Earth, and that in effect would actually destabilize the Earth's axis and potentially cause a pole shift. Now, Bill, one of the things that really jumped out at me about your testimony was the understanding that timeline 2 was very substantially weaker than timeline number 1, where we get through this and we don't have a problem. Is that correct?
Yeah, and I have an explanation for that, but it, again, takes another explanation of understanding. Okay, so let's...
All right, friends, we've reached an hour into this bullshit festival of bullshittery. Yeah. And so I think we've done our due diligence. And by the way, I have the court-martial documents and the DD-214. We'll be placing them on our Google Drive to share with other researchers so that people will know that David Wilcock uses fake whistleblowers, fake Navy SEALs as sources for his fake stories that he tells morons and sells morons on the internet. Same for Kerry Cassidy. Important to put on the record that Don Shipley sent them all of the documents. He warned them that this guy was a fake Navy SEAL, a stolen valor fraud, a disgraced military man who was discharged from the military dishonorably, and was also a child R guy, a child predator who spent 11 years in prison. So why believe any of his fantastic stories? Well, you believe his fantastic stories if you are a scumbag and you believe that you can sell his fantastic stories to morons on the internet. And that's what David Wilcock and Kerry Cassidy did here. Even after being informed of his disgusting, despicable past, they still co-signed, defended him, helped him attack the victim and re-victimize the victim in his case, claiming she was 16 and it was consensual. No, it wasn't. Read the documents, David Wilcock. Do your job for once, David Wilcock, you scumbag. Why would you side with this guy? Why would you not do your due diligence and realize that he was a fake Navy SEAL? Instead of realizing that you've made a mistake and he's a fake Navy SEAL and his military service and his military adventures that he told you about were fake, instead of doing that, you got the brooms out and you swept up for this child molester. And you said, we can't verify his Navy SEAL training or anything because it's above top secret. No, it's not. No, it's not. You are a scumbag, David Wilcock. Your whistleblowers are fake. So we've got Bill Brockbrader, fake whistleblower. We've got Dan Burrish that Wilcock was fond of for a long time, fake whistleblower. We've got Emery Smith, fake whistleblower. Pete Peterson, a senile old con artist. The guy was a fake doctor. His education was fake. His claimed work history was fake. Everything about Pete Peterson was fake. That didn't stop David Wilcock from repeating his stories and claiming he's my number one government insider. And he's still citing Pete Peterson as a source, even though Pete Peterson is a complete and total fraud and a complete and total liar. One moment. Okay, so people are chiming into me. Sarah R. Adams is threatening to sue me. Now she may have gotten an attorney in Pennsylvania. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Urban Terror with one for the goal. Love some wacky world of Wilcock. Thanks, Stephen. Well, thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support of the show. Urban Terror has been a long-time show supporter, always throwing a couple bucks in our hat, keeping us doing this good, hard-hitting, informative, real, researched, real truth work. Thank you, Urban Terror.
Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your generosity. Praise the cash. Praise the cash.
Thank you, Urban Terror. Yes, so I don't even know if I could get into Twitter on this computer right at the moment. Let's check that. I think I was on Twitter on this computer before. I have this two-factor authorization. No, I can't get into Twitter right now. If you check my Twitter, at least not on this PC, I can on the PC behind me, but that won't help me right at the moment. If you check my Twitter, I have posted some of Sarah R. Adams' threats. She's threatening me not to run the story, the bombshell story in which Miss Sarah R. Adams offered people shamanic retreats, specifically Steve Harvey's children, the well-known comedian and host of Family Feud. She offered them a shamanic retreat, but what she delivered to them was she sold them a lot of magic mushrooms and synthetic DMT, and they all tripped their balls off and all had a bad trip to the point that they required medical attention. We have all the body cam footage, the police reports. We have all the evidence. We have all the receipts. We have all the proof. She's not stopping me from running that story, even with legal threats. She's trying, like Wilcock, with these legal threats. All these grifters do this to me. They threaten me constantly. They should know by now. Let's see, Corey Good threatened me with a lawsuit. Billy Carson threatened me with a lawsuit. Sarah R. Adams threatened me with lawsuits multiple times. David Wilcock threatened me with lawsuits, and many others. They all do this to me. They should know by now. I wouldn't be very effective at doing this job if I just bailed under pressure every time somebody threatened to sue me and say, okay, I won't run the story. No, eat a dick. I'm running the story. Eat a dick. I am running the story. The story on Sarah has been properly researched, vetted, investigated, fact-checked, and we're ready to run. And my friends, this coming story about Sarah R. Adams is one of those kill shot shows. You know what I mean? Like the Corey Good deposition shows, which just completely obliterate a grifter's entire scammy career. This is that good, friends. That shocking. CN with one for the goal. Suffer, Sarah R. Adams. Well, thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support.
Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your generosity. Praise the cash.
Yeah, and Manila Toaster says, Steve Harvey DMT Trip is such a good punk rock band name. Yes. Winter Soldier says he can fix Sarah. I can fix Sarah. I don't know about that. We will check in with the Kick Chat one more time, see if we get any support over there to call out. I hope that we did, and no, we didn't. Well, no money, no honey on Kick today, friends, but we will keep doing the Kick broadcasts. If you were in the Kick Chat today and didn't support the stream, I still hope you enjoyed it. I'm not going to pull a dark side Phil and start bitching and complaining, but we would like to get some kick support. So you can gift a sub or become a subscriber, even if we're not broadcasting. And I call it out on the very next show. We call out all the support. We read every single super chat. We thank everybody who is helping us to continue in our good investigative journalism work here and inform the public about some of these scammy, scummy, bullshit hucksters. That's the best way to put it, I guess. So we've done our due diligence. Tree Hugger on YouTube has gifted a kind and generous $5 super chat and says, I hope you put Wilcock in his place, Stephen. Well, I certainly will. And thank you, Tree Hugger, for your kindness, generosity, and support of the show. Much appreciated.
Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your generosity. Praise the cash. Praise the cash.
Thank you, CN. Thank you, Tree Hugger. And thank you to Mike Larry, who gifted 20 True Seekers memberships during this, and you others who gifted a membership or two during the live broadcast. That really helps to expand our community here. So thank you all. And you people getting the free memberships, I really hope that you'll sample. Go to the member section. Check out all the extra videos that you get for being a member. Go there, check them out, and please, please consider for $5 up on the world. Someone gave you a $5 free gift membership. Please consider extending that membership and just becoming a member. Pony up your $5, people. Let's go. Let's get it, right? Sarah R. Mushrooms. That's what I'm going to call her going forward. So, my friends, we've done our due diligence. I'm sorry. It was a short week, and I tried to get 3 or 4 shows in. We're up to 3 now. I doubt we're going to make 4 for this week, but I still have a Dark Side Phil show put together. I have several other shows related to UFO scammers and grifters put together. Maybe we'll push them through for next week, but I'm hoping that we'll, I don't know. I will be dead after tomorrow. Because we missed working at the cabin today. Tomorrow I have to go to the new build site. I have to haul in 320 pounds of mortar mix, 4 80-pound bags. Then I have to haul in 4 5-pound containers of water, which is 200 pounds. I have to pull 500 pounds of material on a wagon about 3/4 of a mile into the build site in the woods. So I got a tough day ahead of me tomorrow, and I think that's about all I will have the energy to deal with. Then I have to mix all that cement, 320 pounds of it, and do some more stone and masonry work. And then we'll be on to the log work. Next week, I hope to take the last 2 windows and the door frame there. Then it's really going to start looking like a cabin. And you get to see some of those cabin videos if you're a member or a Patreon supporter. So please consider becoming a member if you're interested in that. I don't have much outside of the show to share, so I give some personal stuff like, you know, what's going on with the cabin building and the hideaway and the apocalypse cabin and all that stuff. So I think we can call today a successful broadcast from the cabin. And we had a hell of a time getting this to work. I got to tell you, a lot of troubleshooting and problem solving because the internet is like run by a potato up here in the mountains. CN with £4.99 and one for the goal. Knapp dug up the 115 for the hearing. Congress heads will explode when he throws it on the table. Yeah, I sincerely doubt that that's going to happen. I sincerely doubt. Yeah, George Knapp is going to testify before Congress, and he famously said that he knows where the element 115 was, and one day he's going to dig it up and prove the whole Bob Lazar story to the world. Well, now would be the day to do it, George Knapp. He won't. He will bluff and make excuses for why he can't do that.
Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Thank Ra Almighty. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Praise the cash. Thank Ra Almighty.
Thank you, CN, for your kindness, generosity, and support of the show. It is much, much appreciated. Now, we've done our due diligence for today, kind of an extra show for the week, which I'm glad that I could sneak in. And I'm going to leave you with a song called Damaged Disciples. And this song is dedicated to all the damaged disciples, whether you were a follower of Sarah R. Adams and woke up through my coverage, or David Wilcock, or Corey Good, or any of these other false prophets of disclosure. And I mean prophets with an F. That's what they're here to do. So this song, Damaged Disciples, was written about all the people that contact me and thank me for waking them up to the scam and pulling them out of the false reality. And we have Sheila Radler with one more on the way out. Show the UFO put. What does that mean? Oh, the UFO pics. I'm saving that because I have a whole bunch more from other viewers, Sheila Radler. I promise you we'll do it on an upcoming show next week. I don't like to mix too many different subjects, so I have a bunch of other UFO photos, people. We're going to do a segment next week called Viewer Submissions, but I thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support of the show. Sheila Radler has been a big supporter during today's broadcast, and we appreciate that. Thanks for appreciating us.
Ra commands you to bow down and praise the cash.
Thank you, Sheila Radler. I promise I'll sneak them in. We've got a new segment just for viewer submissions. So we've done our due diligence. And what did we learn today? We've learned that I can sufficient. They're all frauds. They're all phonies. Profit. Never forget, friends. You think, well, I didn't buy his books or his documents. He's getting paid. Another moron helps him make more money by clicking on his videos and supporting his bullshittery, his fakery, his fraudery, and his fake whistleblowers. Today we saw what lengths this snake in the grass. How low is David Wilcock willing to go to sell fake stories on the internet? Well, today we've displayed that he's so willing to get in the mud with these disgusting pigs and roll around in their shit. He's willing to go as low as he has to in order to sell fake stories to morons on the internet. Up to and including having the willingness to help a convicted child predator re-victimize the victim of his crimes, lie about his crimes, and make excuses for his fake claims of being a Navy SEAL and going on classified and secret missions. He never did. Wilcock knew this. He sold this clown story anyway. He defended this clown and his fake stories. David Wilcock is a parasite, one of the biggest parasites on the internet. And I, for one, have had enough. But the good news is, my friends, that David Wilcock's days of scamming the public are coming to an end. And until January 1st, there's only 117 more days will David Wilcock be able to scam people on his current scam, the Ascension is Coming Soon scam. And let's be clear, David Wilcock has run the Ascension Coming Soon scam 3 times now, leading up to 2000, leading up to 2012. Now he says Ascension is coming this year, 2025. It's never going to happen, David Wilcock. And in just 117 more days, when January 1st, 2026 comes and goes, no Ascension, no mass arrests, no open extraterrestrial ET contact like you promised your followers in your fake predictions and prophecies that you say came from angels, everyone will know that you scammed everyone again. Then what will you do, sir? Well, he'll probably do the Cosmic Con shuffle, go away for a little while, and come back with new fake stories, and hope everyone just magically forgets that he scammed his audiences 3 times for the Ascension is Coming Soon scam. But don't worry, friends. The grift must go on, so he'll come up with some new horse shit to sell morons on the internet. Don't be one of them. So, we've done our due diligence. Not sure when I'll be returning. Probably Monday night at 7 p.m. So that's all I got for you, friends. Until next time, my name is Stephen Campion. Good night, and God bless all of you.
Disciples, you've had your fill. Damaged disciples, take a second red pill. I know you've had your fill. It's time to take your second red pill. disciples, you've had your fill. Damaged disciples, take a second red pill. This world is fake, and now you escape. You're better off getting out of this maze. Damaged disciples, you've had your fill. Damaged disciples, take a second red pill, pill. Damaged disciples, you've had your fill. Damaged disciples, take a second red pill. Damaged disciples, you've had your fill. Damaged disciples.